let's apply it. VVCRadio.com. We back in the building. Aries Lounge, one-on-one conversation. And I'm blessed and highly favored today. Like, this is a gentleman that I've been wanting to sit down with for multiple years since I was first brought into his movement through battle rap. You know what I'm saying? And then also through my OG Ogun and other individuals have told me about this gentleman. And he hard guy to catch up with, man. He stay moving. He got business going. You know what I'm saying? This gentleman is a legend in Baltimore. You know, he's a host. He's a producer. Now you gotta use those words. You know what I mean? He's a visionary. You know, and obviously a super key integral factor in the development and the maintenance of Baltimore's entertainment industry. I got Shaka Pitts in the building, sir. How are you doing?
I'm well, good brother. Appreciate you for having me.
Man, yo, thank you for taking the time, bro. I know you could be anywhere in the world. I appreciate you stopping by and rocking with me. So I got a million questions. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna try to keep it condensed because I don't want to keep you all day. But the number one thing I gotta know is, as a man, how are you feeling in 2020? As a black man, how are you feeling in 2020?
I'm outstanding, good brother. Like I'm on some good shit right now. So
I'm happy. It's good.
Like I can't really complain, you know what I mean? So, you know, ain't nobody listening anyway, you know. Not to that. But, you know, I'm good, man. A lot of good things on the horizon, you know, a lot of good things in the past. So I just want to build off the dope shit and leave the whack shit alone. So and all aspects, you know. It's a total algorithm.
I definitely, you know what I mean? Understand completely. So all right, so let's start from the beginning. I want the whole story. Man. Where were you born and raised?
Oh man, that's wild. People don't ask me that. I was born in Duquesne, Pennsylvania. Yeah. So that's outside of Pittsburgh. So okay. I'm not that dude to be like, yeah, I was born in Pitt. Nah, I was born in Duquesne. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you was born in Woodlawn, nigga. You was born in Woodlawn. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's say that. But no disrespect to Woodlawn either. But y'all get what I'm saying.
Shout out to Greenspan.
Yeah. No, I lived in Woodlawn. I had my studio was located in Woodlawn for years. But Duquesne, Pennsylvania, and then I moved to Brooklyn, New York as a youngster. Like all my formative years, all my schooling, preschool, Brooklyn, New York.
That's deep.
Brooklyn, New York. So
that's deep. So
first generation hip hop.
All right. So in that time, it was the 80s. Am I correct? When you in Brooklyn? Was it the 90s?
This guy.
I'm not trying to get your exact age, but I'm trying to think time period where music, how it plays out.
But that's what I just said. First generation hip hop.
Okay.
So hip hop didn't have words when. So I remember listening to break beats on the radio like Apache and things of that nature, and trying to record, waiting to record things, and then you had your Bambadas and your Sugar Hill Gang and stuff like that, Right. But so when I was there, when fire was created, I was there.
Wow. And you were more of a consumer and a spectator at the time.
It's funny because back then, you didn't really think of it as being a consumer because it was sort of it was what you did. It's how you live. So it really wasn't being a consumer. That was your way of life. The things you did, your social life and your play life, everything. It was hip hop. Is that way? It was the way you walked, the way you talked, the language, the music you listened to. Was hip hop, but it was a culture. It was a culture before we really knew. That's just what you did. That's what we did.
The clothing,
right. So you saw. So I'm maybe, let's say, 8 years old or whatever, and I'm seeing. You're seeing the teenagers, right? You're seeing the teenagers and the younger 20 type dudes, you know, doing their thing, and you know, that's what you did.
Okay.
You know, so that's how you dance. That's how you know, we rock the beads, we rock crew beads. You know, you carried the linoleum. You know, you figured out who out of the dudes you hung with, everyone's into hip hop some way, but you know, everyone have their own, you know, their skill set, right? Everyone have the thing they gravitate to. So I can't draw, so I'm not the graph guy. I'm not the graffiti guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like you know, you got, you know, your pops have equipment, your moms have equipment. You always been messing with the record player. All right, nigga, you the DJ. That's what you do. You mess with. Just so you was always the dancing nigga, even back, you know, with the disco days or the early little party days or whatever the case is.
Right.
That's what you do. You just have
your skill. What was your skill?
It's funny. I started off as a beatboxer, right?
I love it.
I started off as a beatboxer, but then the rapper in the crew, who was 4 years older than me, I was like, I'm better than this nigga. So early, I had that, but I had that. You know what I mean? So I was like, no, this my OG, you know, but you know, I'm better than yo. I think I could take him.
Yeah.
Right. So I started, you know, getting writing and doing so, and I spit one day, and it was like, okay, now I'm the rapper guy, you know, and then I became, you know, the rapper guy in the little crew,
right.
You know, that was it. I was like the, you know, the top rapper guy in the crew. So that's what I did primarily. But you know, I branched off into, you know, engineering. You know, so I'm certified audio engineer, and we could talk about that, you know, at some point also. But
we can get to it.
So I started early with writing and things like that.
So once you're a collective, everybody got their identified positions in the crew. Like what you know, I mean, what were the things that y'all would do as a crew? Like, was it just the parties? Was it, you know, we should make records?
It was rarely parties.
Okay.
A lot of what we did happened outside. It parks, it schools, you know, we really didn't, you know, my crew really wasn't into we didn't do the party thing really. A lot of stuff happened outside. So it really wasn't parties, but it was park stuff out. Go to someone's block, you know, on a train, walking downtown.
Word.
You know, like, you know, and that was even going on here when I got to Baltimore. That was happening down in Saratoga, Utah, Mondawmin. You just be walking through, crews be spitting. You know, so that's again, it was what you did, man. It really wasn't. You know, you have to step outside yourself and take a look to really be analyzing, like, oh, but it's you know, it's what you did. Like, even back then, it wasn't like, oh, okay, it wasn't a thought process where, oh, he's this or he's that. It's just, that's what it was. And now looking back, you're like, oh, okay, everyone just fell into their specific dojo,
right.
You know, accordingly. But back then, it was just what you did. It was, you know, because again, everyone in the crew anyway had the thing they did, right? Right. There was, you know, there was the pretty motherfucker. Everybody had the pretty motherfucker in the crew, right? We had Sid. You know, Sid was our pretty motherfucker, right? We had the smart, we had the smart, quippy motherfucker. That was me. Right. You know what I mean? We had the calm. You know what I mean? Everyone had their yeah, right. And they played their part. So it was the same way, and you don't really think about it when you win it. It was just natural, man. That was the beauty of coming up in that time when it was just, you know, that's what you know, it's what you did. Like, even every MC battled it, really. It's just, that's what you did because you're going to be tested. So it wasn't really like, oh, you're battling, let's battle. It's like, you just being tested. Right? And that's what you do. You show your skill.
Like, you would spit your best rhymes, they would spit their best rhymes, and I heard Unkasa, he was a part of Dipset. I was watching one of his videos on YouTube, and he said it wasn't about trying to destroy somebody. It was showing somebody that you had skills from MC to MC. It was like a way of showing respect.
Yes.
Yo, we sharpen our steel, so we're going to spit rhymes, and then it's like, oh, I see you.
Yeah.
I respect you. Like, and if you had whack rhymes, they'd be like,
listen,
go back and practice.
Listen, nobody, if Nobody want to do it. Let's bring it. I'm gonna go back to it, but let's put the analogy right now, in real time. No one wants to be the dude when people start rapping, you pull out your cell phone and start checking the gram or start checking. No one wants to be that guy in the cipher, right? So it was the same thing back then. We just didn't have that. The interest was the energy would just be palpable. It'd just be like. Right? No one wants to be that guy, right? Exactly. So you made sure that you always had something on the run. Yeah, either now if you wasn't a freestyler, you made sure your book was on. Either you had the book with you, right? That you like, oh yeah, I got that one, or you just scrolled the Rolodex, a mental Rolodex, or you freestyle, whatever your weapon of choice was, right? But you made sure you was able. If someone said, let's say, if you sing, right? Motherfucker say. Sing. You should be breaking out with the whole lip shaking shit. You should be going in, right? It was the same thing. You rap, yeah, spit something, boom, and now this, you rap, yeah, spit something. You too cool to rap. Back then it's just this is what we do, and so a cipher would go from 5 or 6 dudes spitting, right? Because that's and then it whittled down because you run out of ammo. Now it's me and you. Now it's like, oh shit. This is kind of a battle now, right? But we wasn't stepping in that. It was, that didn't really.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be derogatory.
Right.
It was just like almost like the way you pitch it's like, oh, who can last the longest?
Yeah.
Like who had the most rounds memorized or who had the most rounds written?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Who can so it's just really testing, like you said, testing what you do. This is what you do. All right, let's do what we do, and it's the same thing if you in the gym or if you in a track, whatever. If you in a ring. Whatever you do, men assess each other, right? We're trying to find your place, right? So the cipher is where you found your place. As an MC, this is where you find your place, right? Understand that you really, like when we start talking this talk or whatever, you remember. Don't.
1,000%.
Yeah, right. So it's like they stopped. It's like boom, you falling off.
Respect levels for you was based on how good your rhymes were.
Period.
They was like,
Period.
Really, because the cipher was when we was in high school, it was like either before school or right after school. It's like you stuck together. Like, all right, well, we gonna be here for 40 minutes before school starts. So, you start banging on the table. I'm gonna start rhyming, and it's like whoever let you in that cipher. They let you in because they knew you had skills. Or if you didn't, they laughed you out the room. What you coming over here for?
Yeah.
I know you ain't think you gonna spit no whack rhymes over here.
Listen, it'd be a point to listen. You probably felt you was dope for a minute before you even stepped in the cipher because you like, man, look, I ain't trying to. Because you understood you had a fear of whackness, right? There was a fear of whackness, right? And so that was utilized. Accordingly to present dopeness. So you would be doing your scratch pad would be. It's like the scratch pad for me. Like for instance, I don't even write whack shit. You know why I don't write whack shit? It never the filter like nope, no, it never gets passed. So it never gets passed.
You got the filter. I didn't have that.
It never gets passed.
I would do tons of whack stuff to come up with flying.
No. I
was about to say you got scratch pad with whack because I had bad stuff scratched out.
Never. Now it's not that shit don't get scratched out, but it's not whack. It's just that I got better than this. But it was still if you heard it, you'd be like, oh, that's peace. That's nice. But for me, I'm like, no, that's not that. The bar is higher, right? Because I come from a time when it was a lot of dope motherfuckers out there. It was a lot of dope spitters out there. It was like you had to be able to do this thing. If you said you do this thing, no different than playing ball. You just couldn't go to certain places and play ball if you didn't play ball.
That's a fact. That's right. A fact. New York is a rough place. All right, so let me transition now. So when you were old enough to buy your own music, what was the first? I know it's a hard question for you.
No, it's not.
What's the first album or tape or CD?
Daryl and Joe, Run DMC. It was a single. I want to say it wasn't Run's house, was it? Was it Run's house? It was a 12-inch. That was the first thing I bought ever with my own money. It was vinyl. Vinyl.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Vinyl. Listen, I come from 8-track days.
I had 8-track.
So I come from when copy and paste really meant, you cutting something and copying it and gluing it and pasting it. Like I come from when you cut up reels. I come from that time. So yeah.
So what made you gravitate to Run DMC?
It was run like in the crews. I always liked the intricate. I like the more rhymer based dude in the crew.
Gotcha.
Right. So I like Run. DMC for me was just energy and just like a chance to get away from Run's energy, right? And when I'm just waiting for Run to come back in,
That's deep.
But it's no different than like a Naughty by Nature. It's like Tretch.
Word.
Not that Vinny can't go,
right?
But Tretch. In every crew it's that and EPMD. I like P. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So, but that was just so I just gravitated to to that and it was the energy and at the time. Like I didn't really like they'll kill me. The purists are gonna kill me. I wasn't really into African Bambaataa and Melly Mel and them and that type of For me, I always like I like syllable usage. I like word connecting. So that's what I was a fan of early.
You like the writers, the intricacies of writing.
Yes.
I can understand that because Bambaataa was different. It was a different. The focus was different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was really about bringing people together, rocking a party. Mm-hmm. It was about vibe.
Well, even in Sugar Hill, listen to Sugar Hill, and you can find the rapper. Mm-hmm. And even in Sugar Hill, and you'll be like, "Oh, he's the one." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So even back then, I'm still listening for, even though it didn't get really like intricate. I think until maybe like Kane and Cool G, and then Rakim and them be like, hold up, they doing something different. They're doing something different. But before then, you had the Prince Marky D's and from Fat Boys, and you still had people, even Kool Moe Dee, who was doing some things with rhyming that I was like, okay, this is what I like about the craft.
Right. Okay, so at what point did you go? I need to be in, there's a difference between you and your friends doing it, and then I need to get into the industry. Okay, I need to be a part of it. Well, I'm not gonna say when, but what brought you to it? What made you go, that's it, I gotta go get it?
It's two parts. When I first started getting serious, it was like 14. When I was like maybe I can do something. Maybe because people were telling me I was, you're good, or I was, we would rap on the train, and people would, give us money, and when I rapped, it would be the biggest, like So I'm like, okay, and people would tell you're good, or no different than anything else. Oh, hey boy, you can play ball, or you can run, you're fast, you're strong. You ever think about no different than that, So you start thinking about it, and so I did the regular crew thing, did my whole thing, and but I stopped going hard at it because I started running track also at 14. And the track I was really good at track also. And that was that was keeping me out of trouble more because I was really screwing up in my 14, 15. So I got transferred to a school just based off of track. It was some wild stuff went down at the school I was in, and I was actually in school with Jay-Z at one point. I was at lunchroom ciphers with Jigga at Eli Whitney High School.
That's lit.
But some things that went down, so I had to transfer, and I called this. I ran over summertime with this little Big Apple program. They had the track band. I ran, and the guy who ran it was in charge of Boys and Girls High School. He was a dean of security and the track coach. I just called him like, I need to get in. So that's how I got in the track and field, and I was like, okay, this was keeping me out of trouble. So I focused on that more until in the Army, I met up with people who are other artists, and it was like, oh, these dudes are dope, and we formed the camaraderie and crew, and we started doing some things. And one of my men, Jay Flex, he wrote "Keep Your Heads Ringing" for Dre, Natural Born Killers. That's how I also got out to California and doing some. Yeah, so I got to do some things out. So the Army is really when it started, clicking. I got signed during that time. Also, that was my first time I got signed. Was it
a major? Or was
it was a subsidiary of a major. So it was off of Relativity Records with when Common was on, Bone Thugs was on.
Right.
During that time. Was that 94-ish?
Yes,
90. So it was around that time. So we was on Miko Relativity, and we got shelved, but the connects were made and experiences were had and things like that.
So you recorded the project in California when you were signed?
No, I went out to California because Flex. It's funny. Flex went out there. We were stationed at Fort Meade, and they went out to California. I was a medic in the Army, so I was down there. I couldn't get off, and this is a whole BET story. I need other people with me to remind me of certain things. But they went to California on some old driving to California from Fort Meade, right? Right. Listen, this is what we do. We've done it. Listen, we've done it plenty. We would just drive to Ohio, I've drove to Colorado, so drove to Canada.
No particular reason, just
what you doing? Yeah.
Nah,
so I didn't have the time off, right? So I didn't have the time off.
Shout out to you.
So they went and they ran into Dre at the drive-through. I believe it's drive-through. Yeah, and they told him that they met. They lied. They say they drove all the way out here to meet him and blah blah blah. And they were rappers. And so anyway, he invited them to his 4th of July cookout or whatever. They went, and that was pretty much it. My man Flex was. No, he was in. So this was down. This was during the Dre. This was the Dre with the white Ferrari Dre, because Flex has pictures with that white Ferrari like this. So so from then I was able to go out to Soul Train Music Awards, and I kicked it out there with Death Row, and I've had some times, man, like chilled, smoked with Biggie. I got some
memories.
I got some memories, man. I got some memories.
You got the classic for life memories.
Yeah.
Being able to smoke with Big, bro.
Yeah.
That's like smoking with Snoop for real, bro.
I've smoked with Method Man, Redman, all of Boot Camp, shit. I don't know, so many, but because I've also interviewed people on my radio show as well, and I've interviewed people in person as well, so that also allowed me that, right, exactly. When I worked on Triple X 2 with Cube in Exhibit, I got to, so I get to, chill with them, Willem Dafoe, and kick it with people like that, Samuel L. Jackson, and I got an autograph Kango from Samuel, so
I love it.
Yeah.
Shaka Pitts gonna have a museum out this motherfucker.
Listen, good brother, like I said, I have a whole BET story, the whole see that guy over there? No, not him, the other guy. That's me. I bet you're wondering how this started. You know what I mean? I have one of those stories that I need other people to help me tell, to be honest.
What's your wildest experience that you remember while living and working in LA?
The wildest experience probably would be the most Hollywood experience, and that just comes to mind because I've had some things that I probably can't talk about. But one of the wildest things is I was at a party. Okay, damn. You know what? I'm gonna tell 2 stories, and one of them is gonna get me in trouble. But I was at a party for the cast. This is before the shoot ended. No, this was right when the shoot ended. We had a party, and there was 2 chicks, two white women, and they were they were talking. We was in the crew, little whatever, talking, smooching, doing the little Hollywood thing, right? So another one walked up, and they did the whole smooches. They actually did the regime smooches, the French side to side little, and the other one walked away, and she said, I hate that bitch. I'm like, oh shit, they really do that shit out here. Like, you hear about the fake Hollywood and how and you see it on, that shit was real. They actually did the whole French smooches, and then when she walked away, she was like, I hate that bitch. But yo, you just kissed her on the fucking cheek. This is, I'm gonna catch a case if I live here. Like, there's no way, I'm too real, I'm too East Coast to deal with this part of the industry.
Right.
I will catch a case out here, because there's no way I can have him dapping me out with the whole, the dap, and I walk away like, yo, fuck that nigga. Like, yo, what? Yo, you just dapped me up, yo. So,
sometimes you gotta do business with the devil.
But,
like,
listen. Then hold that water. Hold that water. Don't like that. For me, that's too like. If it's like that, then I don't know if that deal is good enough for me. You know what I mean? I don't know if that deal is worth it for me. I haven't found anything worth me compromising who Shaka Pitts is.
But you don't have to compromise.
Clearly that was a compromise. If you hate a person, clearly that's a compromise.
That's true. I don't really hate anybody, so it don't really.
I'm saying if you can verbalize to other people that you hate someone,
that's true.
You probably shouldn't be doing anything with that person, and definitely not kissing them on the goddamn. No, listen. I mean that and whatever pilgrimosity they into, that's on them. But I can't. That's not me.
That's a fact.
That's not me. The other time I was at the. I got invited back out for the premiere. So we're at the premiere party. So we did the whole red carpet thing, and now we're at the party. And I'm sitting down, I'm at the bar, and I'm drinking, and Bruce was there, and Exhibit was there. He showed love, and Exhibit's a real dope dude. Like, he showed the love he didn't have to show. Cause I walked up and Big Snooki was at the, and I had to I looked over, made eye contact with the Exhibit, like. He was like, yo, that's my man. So I was like, oh, that's dope. Because he could have been like,
yeah, right. Go ahead on, bro.
Go ahead, bro. Come on. That was just the work, bro. That was work. That was just Hollywood, bro. Mm-hmm. And he didn't do that.
That's good.
Exhibit didn't do that. So that was dope.
I'm a big Exhibit fan, so thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, so Exhibit is real.
Keeps you feeling good.
So I'm at the bar, and I'm sitting down, and again, this is a different time, y'all. So bear with me, but you asked me. This is a different time,
I did ask.
All right, so this is 2000. Whenever Triple X, I don't know if it's 2006,
something like that.
But so anyway, I'm like. I'm like, this dude is close to me, right? Like standing back in the back, So I'm like I'm just like that. Why this? And why this gay dude this close to me, right? And I'm looking, because that's just the vibe I got. Because, you know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't like derogatory. I just felt like it was a gay dude.
No heterosexual man is going to be that close to another man.
Right.
I'm sorry. If we can avoid it at all,
but it wasn't just that. So I looked, because it was the gear he had on. So, like if you scan, it started with, it was like some type Converse type tennis or sneakers type situation, but the pants were flared leg, flared jeans over them where you really couldn't. It was almost bigger than the shoes, right? And then the jeans, and then they had the little short.
Oh yeah, the cutoff shirt.
The short shirt, but it was mesh. Yeah. And then you go up, and then you look. I'm like, oh shit, that's Marlon Wayans. It was Marlon Wayans standing behind me, brother.
He just did that.
Yo.
He set me up.
Yo, it was Marlon Wayans. And he had standing with some other dude. He had the little spiked, the little gel. I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, okay. Went back to.
Did you get a chance to have an interaction with him?
Nah, let him do his thing. Okay. I mean, because
Yeah, he had the attire that wasn't inviting.
Well, I mean, but he was. I'm not a Marlon Wayans fan.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some things he do I respect, and it's like, oh, that's cool. But I'm not really a. I only like.
And that's way before he really got established, because he really.
Well, I mean, but he was still a Wayne. He was still a Wayans. He was still Marlon.
Yeah,
so that was just like my for me, a Hollywood story is like, oh damn, like again, because it wasn't even judging, it was just me, just with a vibe, and then from assessment, and I'm like, oh, that's Marlon Wayne. So that was, you know, like I said, I might get in trouble for that or whatever, but that was just some Hollywood shit for me. They went down, but yeah, I've never been a fanboy, man. I've been around too many people who were someone, you know, and they were regular, you know, they were able to take the cape off, right? So, so I've never fanned out, you know, I've done stuff with Heavy D, and, you know, like I said, it's people that I've forgotten.
Word.
You know, Sam Snead, we chilled and kicked it with him back in You Better Recognize.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I like that. So familiar.
Yeah.
But then there's another guy from Miami named Sam Sneak who was with MMG. So I think I might have mixed them two up. So how did you end up coming to Charm City? Like
Fort Meade.
You got banished from the industry, and then they just sent you.
Nah, man. Right? How about that? It was purpose, man. It was a reason for it. I left Fort Meade, and I was living in Glen Burnie, and I was coming up to I met a dude at the bar. I met a dude. I think I was coming up here for weed. I was coming up here for weed. Sounds right. Okay. So I was coming up here for weed, and I saw a dude at the gas station who had hip hop vibe, right? And he was, I don't know how we started talking, but he had locks, and he had the pants, the DOS effects. He had the DOS effects going on, right? So and I don't know how we started talking, but he was like, there's a video shoot he's gonna be at, and he invited me to it, and I went, and we started bonding, and he was like, I rap, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, so we started kicking it, and it wound up being Two-Face from the Wicked Head Knockers. So we started kicking it. He brought me around the other Head Knockers, and we started vibing, and you know, next thing you know, I'm coming from Glen Burnie every day, and I'm chilling up, up at on not Garrison, Gwen Oak, Liberty and Gwen Oak, over there. Springdale, actually, right out shit. We're right around, yeah. So, you know, by the golf course, so we used to be over there, and that's how I started going to Supreme Imperial, you know, and that's how I started getting, you know, that was my you know, my end to Baltimore.
So what year was that?
90-something, 5. It was before Wu was out. Wu was out. Bring the Pain was out.
Wow. This is so deep, man. Like, this is.
So yeah. So what's funny is a lot of the people. This is a little. A lot of the people who's in that group, right? They were in high school. They went high school.
Because I was in high school at that time.
They was in high school.
When I tell people my story of Baltimore hip hop started in 97, 98, because it was Pork Top, Tim Trees, and LMS.
Yep, I remember. Yep,
those were my first experience. Like me hearing LMS and losing my mind, going.
We used to all be in the same. You know, it was all. You know, back then it was dope because it was all, you know, we all went to the same spots to do what we did, right? And we all, you know, even if it was the spot was a different spot in a different week, right? We was all, you know, we was at that spot, you know.
Because you go and record in the same studios because it's not that many, and the equipment was so expensive back
Equipment
then.
was expensive.
Everybody couldn't have their own situation.
Well, everyone wasn't recording either. If you was recording, you was doing something.
Right.
If you had a tape, a tape.
Right.
A tape. I said a tape. If you had a tape, you was doing something.
Word.
And everyone didn't have a tape, right? You was just spitting, right? Because it was expensive to get that. It was expensive. So if you had a tape, that meant you were serious. It meant someone else was, you know, serious about you or whatever the case is.
Dropping down, bro.
But yeah, that was a big thing. So. You know, like Head Knockers had tapes out, and I was like, okay, you know, these, because I came from, you know, I came from a crew already that, you know, like I came from. I was already in California,
right?
You know,
you came out of a major system.
Yeah. So
to come to Baltimore and see this kind of like grassroots,
but
kind of small.
But it was dope. Remember where I was before that.
Okay, hip hop in the park.
Right.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, oh.
So there's just a universal appreciation for just being a creative and being serious.
That's it. And being dope.
That.
And being dope. Like you can't deny dopeness. You can hate a person. Right, but you can't deny dopeness, right? Right, you can say all day, yo, Kobe a bitch ass nigga for what he did to Shaq. Yeah, well, nigga can shoot.
That's a fact,
right? And so you gotta give it to him on that, right? But so you know, duality exists. So you know, my law is you can't deny dopeness, right? So you just gravitate to it. And so at that time, you know, it was a lot of dopeness in the building, man. You know, and people, you know. People were just, you know, just about trying to prove that they were better than you or just as good as you or qualified to be, because, you know, they may have heard your name. They may, you know, you may have heard, you know, of LMS. You may have heard, you know, of L&D. You may have heard of New Test, and, you know, and you're like, you know what? You know, fuck that. I'm nice too. All right, well, go down to Supreme Imperial, go down to the bank, go down to Larry Stewart's, go down to Crazy John's, because niggas are gonna be down to Crazy John's, standing in front of that motherfucker spitting. No invitation needed. Take your ass down there and show these niggas you got what you say you got.
And also in that time period, I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
There was the collective. It was Charm City Records. And I remember, now that was the first time I saw a collective of people that were so active, meaning that everywhere I went, they just seemed to, you know, they was taking backland everywhere, freestyling for everybody and everything. And I was like, wow, that was the first time I saw the movement.
It was before that, but what C did well, C was able to, you know, to be a focus for the crew, for Charm City, you know, like C had a plan, you know what I mean? So I think that was the first time really that a collective man had a plan to go to another level,
right?
Because there was dope collectives, right? You had Low Key with, you know, we had 50,000 Heads, you know, with Ray Luga, and then when Scar Akbar was with him back in the day. Yeah. I don't know the details of it, but can you give me some more description of that crew? Well, 50,000 Heads were, when I came in, I was seeing them down like a Supreme Imperial, and I want to say they was doing the places that like the bank and stuff like that, but definitely Supreme Imperial, and they were just like a collective of MCs. And my man Low Key, the God, rest in peace, Low Key, he was a curator of the culture, and you know, he, after doing, just to big up Low Key real quick, he, after, you know, being the patriarch of 50,000 Heads, you know, that collective, you know, that artistic collective, he also started doing events to help other artists in the city, and down at the Five Seasons and Club Taste, and which is something else now. But yeah, big up to Low Key. But you know, yeah, they were just a collective of dope MCs, and you know, who. They were dope. 50,000 Heads were dope. Like I said, you had Ray Luga, who's still dope, and one of the most commanding MCs you'll see or hear. I believe Scar Akbar was with him back when he was like a young boy teenager.
I gotta sit down again with him because he's got to tell the story on camera.
Yeah. Scar has that. Like, you can't, you know. And again, as far as legends, he is a legend, because you can't tell, you know, Baltimore hip hop story without mentioning Scar Akbar at some point, whether it be as a graphic designer, which people may or may not know, but he's one of the best graphic designers that this city. Producer, you know, MC.
I'm talking about writer and freestyle.
Yeah, Scar is legitimately a Renaissance man.
See Scar? I'm giving you your props. Yeah. And I'm doing it on camera again.
Scar legitimately, you know, and again, and that's just what I'm saying. Like, you can't negate dopeness, man. You can't take that away.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
All right, so When did you start becoming? All right, what was kind of the first thing that you morphed into once you really started making Baltimore the place of your home? What was it? Were you MCing?
I was MCing.
Okay.
I was MCing.
Did you ever put out a project?
What's funny is I only put out one project by myself.
Really?
And then I put out, then I released things. I started doing music for therapeutic reasons more so than anything else. So I put out, so the first thing I put out was something by mistake. It was called The Lost Hard Drive of Shaka Pitts. It's because it was just, my hard drive crashed of songs I had, and I was playing on stuff, and I was like, so I pulled from what I could, found stuff and remixed some stuff that I could or matched it and I put it out and had a release party and everything. It was pretty dope. It's in some circles it's been considered a classic, in some subcultures of the spitting world, those who know, it's in their rotation. Like I'm an MC's MC, so I write for dope. For dope people. So it's that loop is reciprocated. That's where I stay. That's why I said my filter. I have a fair whackness, man. You have to, like I said, I came from a time when like you were gonna know early. There wasn't no participation awards. It wasn't it wasn't no appeasing. It wasn't no coddling. You were gonna know early that this is not what you are supposed to do. No, you cannot be anything you want. You can't. You might be able to be the president, but you cannot rap.
My shit.
All right.
So once you transitioned from MCing, what was the next thing that became like a focus point?
Engineering.
Okay.
Engineering. I got tired of waiting to feed myself, right? So I'm writing, and I'm like, okay, I got now. Ain't no cell phones and shit, right, like that. So I'm writing. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to record. Right, so at Fort Meade, I had a system. We had, I had my man IT, who we was all going to, me, Flex, and the whole crew. We were all going to him, and he got sent to New Mexico, and I was going to him every pay period. At that point, like when I was at Fort Meade, I was recording a lot.
Right.
But in Baltimore, I wasn't. But at Fort Meade, I was recording a lot. I was going every pay period. Boom, and then I was starting to learn because it was a 16-channel board, I believe, and we were mixing into Voyager. I want to say the program was Voyager, but it was using the reel. And was feeding off into a computer. No, I'm lying. The computer was just a sequencer, a controller. So we were recording on the reel, but we would have to punch out and mix in real time. So he would have the first 8. I have the second 8, and so we'd be mixing the song
while
it's being mixed, while it's being bounced down. Right. As it's being bounced, we're doing, all right, drop the kick, right, boom, all right. So and we're bringing levels up. So we're doing this in real time. So this is where I start learning how to engineer, and I learned on the equipment before digital. So I was able to bring that into the digital.
I tell people, man, if you learn pre-digital and then you're a monster.
Yeah.
You're a monster because of the thing is, like, you had to learn timing. You had to learn time. That was such an important thing. Learning time and learning how to make stuff happen, and things that took me 6 hours or 12 hours to mix now probably take 30 minutes.
Yeah.
All of the presets. Everything got presets now.
Yeah, but back then I remember even when I was doing digital. Even my presets I would build presets, right? But it would take me like 2 weeks, and I'm set, whatever. But after that, now I'm on autopilot, but I've already put that time in, right? Like I've invested that time in for the situations and for whatever. Boom, I'm gonna hit this. Boom, go to that scene, or I'm gonna go to this is for this situation. So just once you've in it long enough, I think presets is peace. once you can assess, it's like the Matrix. You can bend the rules once you know the rules.
Right. That's a fact.
Right.
So moving from, not saying that you ever stopped because you still do it, but after you got engineering down, what drew you to becoming like an event host and getting involved in the fashion that you got involved, like starting to get more influence in Baltimore instead of just being a part of it.
Right. So from the engineering, a lot of that was all simultaneous. A lot of that stuff happened. So the engineering and the hosting and the radio show all was going on at one time. So at one point I was rated several years top one in the top studios in Baltimore, the Spitters Club studios. We had, it was us, Architect Studios, Deep Flow, and but we were always, when you talk studios, when you talk, you had to talk, Shaka Pitts. So that was happening. Actually, the slogan was, "You don't need a studio, you need an engineer." So my branding is always just like matter of fact, just like so it was engineering, and then the radio. I was doing a radio show also, Real Talk with Spitz McMahon, where I was doing topics on Tuesdays, topics and interviews on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays I would do Play It or Spray It, where local artists would send their music, and industry artists, because I had industry artists sending me their new stuff to break as well. I was also I can't even remember the damn. I was in the DJ pool. Who was the downside? Was it Spin? Who was that? I can't remember. Brain Cell Diary Day. It was the Miami one.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm gonna tap out on that one.
But I was in the DJ record pool, so I was getting
Spin City DJs.
No, it wasn't Spin City, but I was getting music from all over, and then and local artists also was sending me their music. And so what I did was the trick to that was for the first year of the radio show, I didn't interview anyone local. I just reached out to all my industry connects. So by the time I opened it up to local, it was a privilege, number one. And number two, you knew you just wasn't getting on.
Right.
You had to be doing something.
Right.
Right? You had to have a project out that you want to talk about, or something you had to be relevant to something going on in the community to get on.
Right.
So that was going on. So like I said, I had Rod Digger, Lady Luck, Professor Griff, Keith Murray, Jazzo, Raekwon. I can't. It's so many. So many people. Right. So at that time also, my first hosting gig was a poetry gig. So me and my ex, my ex actually, I can't even take the credit. My ex owned a bookstore, right? Called A Good Book, and we would, she wanted to do. She was selling books, and local artists were having their books in, and a lot of them were poetry, people. So she wanted to do something, so we hosted an open mic, and I was. The host, just because I'm an MC, I talk to people. This is what, fuck it, right? Why not, right? Whatever. So that was my first entry, and that's where I met people like Love the Poet early. When Love the Poet was rocking long dreads with camouflage jackets. Minister, a lot of people back then. I want to say I met either Poet MC back then as well. Like a lot of people, I met them back doing that, and then I started going. I was always going to 5 Seasons when it was on Charles Street, and I was already in the community. And then when I moved to the Guilford Street spot, I started hosting because Sonny Brown got sick. Sonny was hosting Hip Hop 101, right? And he got sick. And Mr. Wilson, rest in peace, Mr. Wilson, asked me to hold it down. Oh, and that happened because one time I think Sonny may have been late one day or something may have happened, but I hosted one time. No, fuck, you know what happened? I'm gonna put Sonny ass out there, yo. Let me tell you what, yo, let me put some. This is great. Hey, yo, I ain't gingerbread man. I got something for you, good brother. All right, so Sonny Brown was hosting Hip Hop 101, right? So Sonny would host and do this thing, boom, 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 do all the business part, boom. So once the business part was gotten out the way, right? Meaning the money, once everything's gotten out the way, and Sonny be like, it's later on to the night, like the last hour, Sonny be like, yo, P. So I'm bringing up the next act or whatever. Sonny gone. Sonny dipped. So now I'm hosting the last half hour. You know what I mean? So I'm dealing with that or whatever. So I was getting my bones that way as far as hosting with that particular crowd, because now remember at the end also niggas like, yo, when I'm going on, yo, could I go, like, yo, come on, you know what I mean? Then you gotta tell them, like, listen, only one song, yo, this nigga like, yo, they just did 3 songs. You're like, yo, I know, but we only got 45 minutes. So now I'm doing that shit, right? Sonny gone, right? So I'm learning.
I would like a thief in the night.
Right. So I'm learning. So then when Sonny got sick, Mr. Wilson asked me to hold it down, and I held Hip Hop 101 down, for Sonny and Mr. Wilson, and and then I was asked to do a gig. What was I doing? The Turntable Club on the East Side. Okay. It was on McElderly, I believe, on that side. Jefferson. So I was doing 15 Minutes of Fame over there where you perform, and you got a DVD of your performance at the end of the night. And
wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, we was done. Nobody was doing that. And the sound was being fed through a board.
Wow.
And being mixed, so it was top shit. And you got quality DVD. The cameras were coming down from the ceiling and shit.
This is Mike. Go ahead.
The cameras were coming down from the ceiling, so it was dope. It was dope.
How do you do that?
It was dope. That was big. Yeah.
Charging like crazy.
Nah, it was $15 for the DVD.
Nah,
and I think it might have been like $5 or something like that, $10. So it was something small to get in. Nothing ridiculous. So, but yeah, that was big up to Kevin, Missy. Rest in peace to Mr. Ken. But yeah, that was during that time, and I was doing I was hosting events at Sonar, so I was hosting speaker boxing, so I started, which was a freestyle battle, event. So I was doing a lot.
When you started hosting and you doing these things like freestyle events, is that like you kind of wanting to bring back the vibe like that you had when you was a kid? Cause I don't think I've ever heard of anybody else being like, yo, we gonna continuously do ciphers, you know what I mean, on a regular. Like, so
for me, that's the essence of who we are, right? That's it's like the difference between poetry and rapping, right? Or spoken, right? Or right. So it's like, without something, they're the same exact thing. There's something that makes it different, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, and we can have conversation on what that something is, right? But whatever it is, that's what you need. That's what makes. So we have to keep that. When we take that away, we're no longer that. We're something else. Okay. Whatever that something else is.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So we can be a pig without a chromosome, one chromosome or whatever, right? And we're a fucking pig. Right. So that makes us who we are.
Yeah. So why did it become your responsibility personally to be like, I'm going to be the one to make this? That critical jump, like, wow, this has to be a part of what I do on a regular basis.
I'm a void filler. I'm a void filler. Like I'm not an alpha by choice. I'm an alpha by necessity.
You're a type B alpha. You're not a type B.
I can fall back all day long, as long as the shit is being done correctly that I want to be a part of. I can let you lead it all day long. The moment you're not on point, I'm gonna start looking up. And but in me being a Cancer, I let it play. But once I find out that that's not what it is, now my whatever move it is a definitive move. And if I'm there, I live there.
Right.
Right.
I respect it. I'm the same exact way.
So yeah, if I'm in that space, that's the space I live in, and that's the space I protect. So, like, how can you not protect where you live, right?
That's a fact.
Right. So for me, it's like, again, it's hard for me to explain what's natural, right? What I live. It's hard to explain why I feel how I feel about the culture, and you don't. I don't. This is who I am. You know what I mean? So
let me ask you this question, and then I want to go. Because since we're in the time period where the burgeoning of our, the culture of Baltimore entertainment is starting to come together, less as an organism and more as a business. When you start seeing certain artists are played on the radio, so you have your group of artists that get radio play. You have this established group of underground MCs. You have your singers, and then you've got everybody else in between. How did you feel about the development? Like, and who do you feel like added the most to it becoming what it is?
There was a time locally when you couldn't get on the radio. There was a problem. There was a, I can't remember Yo's name, but there was someone at 92Q who wasn't operating right, and I believe it was a pay to play issue going on, and the artists and we as a community felt a certain way. I believe one time, did we show up to? Yeah, well, even that rally that did you see that picture on with everyone on 92, this is funny you said that. With everyone on, we was all at 92Q. All of the picture they put in the group, but all of us, we was over there, right? So that was, I believe we did that twice. I think once was a food drive. I think, and once was, I think we all just gathered there. But the message is, as a collective, right? So this is gonna sound how it sounds to people, but we could show up as a collective and bring canned goods for the homeless, or we can drop off bags of dead rats. I don't know. But I'm saying to you, we're all together. Right? Where this collective has power. Right. Is what we're saying to you. Right. This is what this picture is saying to you. It's not just Shaka Pitts. It's not just C-Love. It's not just, Ogo. It's not just, Paco and Chino. It's all of us. Right? Right? So yeah, we want you to play Boss Man. Yep, we do. We want you to do that. Yep. But we also want you to play, you know what I'm saying? Right, because they qualify. Right? So before it was like, oh, the music doesn't snap the quality. Oh, it's not quality sound. We got you. Boom. Spitters Club on it. Boom. ARS on it. Boom. Deep Flow. Boom. We on it. We all right, cool. All right, so we making sure that the artist now here's that sound. Now that here's that sound. Oh, that's what they're talking about. Hold up, but you playing some niggas from out of town is talking the same shit. Right. Facts. 1,000% facts. Come on, yo. So it was a time when, Now
let me ask you this question, because I asked this to Civ Jones a couple of days ago.
Shout out to Civ Jones.
So at the time, you had Strictly Hip Hop every Friday night, midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning.
It was big. It was a big thing to get your record through there, to get it to pass through there.
Right.
Big thing.
Tell me, and I'm going to use this as a representation for all platforms that have been long lasting, whether it's an open mic or whatever. Why is it that if this has been, to me, in my opinion, Strictly Hip Hop is the crown jewel of Baltimore's, should be the crown jewel of what Baltimore's hip hop scene is. It's been around forever. It has supported every facet.
You can't tell a story without it.
You can't tell a story without it. However, I know for a fact that right now Strictly Hip Hop is struggling because there are people that have dedicated a lot of their life to it, and have not been compensated or looked out for. Strictly Hip Hop has not been supported. There are a lot of movements and record labels and people that do stuff, but as a person that owns a radio station myself and was popping at one time, when we were at our height, it just seemed like the industry got upset because they can't, like, it's like individuals that are in the industry will come in and get upset because they feel like they should have the run of your business, but they're not spending any money. So it'd be different if somebody would have come to my station or Strictly Hip Hop and say, yo, I'm giving you $10,000, bro. Like, why can't y'all show me more support? It'll be the people that say, I have not given you nothing, but I feel like you owe me. But I haven't tuned into your station. I haven't called in. I haven't sent anybody to listen to it. The only time you even think about us is when you're trying to promote something that you're doing to make money. Why is it that in this span have we as a community spent so much time trying to give our money, give our attention, give our power to something that does not want us, and then completely ignore the platforms that do show that love? Because I can even say the same about Pitt Fights. Pitt Fights should be $1 million. You should have big gold chains. You know what I'm saying? And
that
you should have Louis Vuitton shoes. Why don't we do that? And why haven't we done that? In your opinion?
The short answer is it's not sexy. Strictly Hip Hop isn't the sexy part of 88.9.
And whose opinion? I feel like that's the only reason why I would tune in. Listen. And I got a homeboy that's got a show on Friday nights. Shout out to Jay Hill.
Listen, that's a reason why you know we do, right? But the problem is, with anything else, a lot of the evangelizers or people who should be evangelizing are quiet, and the stupid people are not quiet. Stupid people are very loud nowadays. And so the things, you know, so this the whole 88.9 situation needs to be evangelized, right? It doesn't need to be a quiet conversation in the corner.
Right. That's why I brought it up.
Right.
I got to do it out there.
So this is something that should be a open topic of discussion. This should be going to 88.9 and saying, okay, you know, Strictly Hip Hop rather. Let's be honest, because you know, let's go Strictly Hip Hop and say, okay, what can we do? What do you want to do? What are you willing to do? Right? Because you got to be willing to do some things at this point also. What are you willing to do? Right? Are you willing to partner up with a, you know, with a Chenier on this, you know, on this Baltimore whatever unity event or Crown or whatever? Are you willing to partner up with Ogoon on this? Are you willing to partner up with Civ Jones on that? Are you willing, whatever? Are you willing to do, you know, to have a segment with Pitt Fights where you evangelize the battle rap culture? You know, are you willing? But you know, those type of things. Those type of things. Hip-hop and you have listen, brother. Listen, I'm a listen. We've been on 92Q, right? Pitt Fights has had segments on 92Q. I don't know how long we ran for the Pitt Fight segment, but I was doing Tuesday night fights for 92Q for years. I was the gatekeeper. That's where Spitz McMahon came from. So I was the gatekeeper for that because I won. I retired. I ran 7 weeks, retired. Then I had other Spitters Club members come on, retire in the row. And then at that point, they was like, look, man, look.
You need to just run this thing.
Right.
Yeah, you already know what you got.
So that's how, you know, so... And then even after that, I came back. Squirrel Y hit me like, yo, I want to do it again. And this time, it'd be Pitt Fights. And so we did that. Pitt Fights on Tuesday Night Fights. So it's there, but what do you want to do with it? You know what I mean? And as far as Pitt Fights, you know, this is homegrown. Right. You know, this is we have the oldest battle rap league in the country. You know, when we started, when Smack was uploading, we was uploading. You know what I mean?
So get into that. I got a whole segment. That's why I'm trying to get to the history before we get to the. So yeah, we get to Pitt Fights is a whole thing. I know. Yeah. I know a lot of people just. I'm sorry, but y'all got to get this history.
Yeah. So I'm no, but I'm saying that, like, you know, but again, I think, you know, everyone is going to have to be willing to do something. Correct. You know, it has to be, you know. Back to, you know, you used to saying something before about it has to be like reciprocity. There has to be, you know, a symbiotic relationship where it's a give and take, where you know you can, you can feed off of me if I can feed off of you. It's all love. You know what I mean? You got corn, I got grain. Right. You know what I mean? Like you got sugar. You know what I mean? I got barley. Whatever the case is, but let's, you know, we can do that. It's not a big deal.
Right. I feel you on that. I wasn't really trying to put it all on us. I will say probably there might be the people that run Strictly Hip Hop might be at fault for not conducting.
Well, that's why I said that's why I said you have to talk. Let's talk and say, okay,
right.
you know, what do y'all want to do? What are you willing to do?
Run Strictly Hip Hop, so like I need to figure that out.
I used to be more in that loop than I am now. I'm totally out that loop. I used to, you know, almost not be a regular, but I used to go up there on the regular, you know, on a regular basis. I would sponsor I've sponsored their anniversary, you know, sending food up there, and I've gone up there and, you know, been on air, but I haven't really. I've been sort of my like I call it my Piconda phase, you know, where we just been in my own dome, shield off, and running my you know
campaign.
Yeah, running my campaign and getting my lane and doing Warp Factor 9.
Word.
You know.
Word. Okay. Well, let's move on. So, at what point did we? Excuse me. Did you get to the place where, you know, battle rapping became such a focal point for you? Well, and is there a specific reason why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's almost goes back to the radio thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I can't get you like it's almost like, all right, I'm able to do a battle rap for you, for me, what you can't do in this regular music lane, right? I have people, so I'm hosting battle rap shows. I'm hosting battle rap on YouTube, and I'm being stopped in the street, right? To this day, weekly, multiple, I call them Shaka Pitts sightings. And I don't want to make this seem like narcissistic or whatever, but YouTube is TV.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact,
right? So I've been seen by millions of people. Right, and that's just on my channel. That's not counting on Grind Time's channel. When I was with Grind Time and when I ran the Grind Time League here in Baltimore. So I've been seen by, you know, millions, maybe billions of people. So I'm like, hold up. Now I done hosted shows with, you know, Redman, and, you know, I'm at Sonar, like I'm the liaison for Sonar. When Slaughterhouse first formed, not Sonar, Rams had called me and said, hey, you ever heard of this super group called Slaughterhouse? I said, Slaughterhouse? I said, yeah, Joel Ortiz, Royce 5'9". Look, by the time they said Roy, I said, well, yeah. I said, what's going on? Should we book them? Yeah, book them. Mm-hmm. So that's how, you know what I mean? So
that's a crazy time period. That is an intersection when the internet, and I think that's the time period when hip hop figured out that the internet was the future.
So I say that to say that I've done a lot. I was already I was already doing things, right? I was doing in the hip hop community, but I wasn't getting the things I was getting like when the battle rap. So I'm like, hold up, this is a whole thing of its own. This like I'm getting these boys on the radio through battle rap. Mm-hmm. I'm on the radio through battle rap. Y'all ain't got no damn songs on the radio. Mm-hmm. You ain't never been on the radio. Mm-hmm. I'm on the radio every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I'm on the radio. Every Tuesday night. What time was it? 7, some prime time. I can't remember.
Right.
I'm on the radio. My voice is being heard. Alright. That's what's up.
I can see that.
This is, and not only that, but it was the most natural thing for me, right? It wasn't me like I don't want to do anything that I have to put another suit on for, right?
Gotcha.
Right. So even what I do now in regular life, I get to go to work just like this. Mm-hmm. I get to go to work just like that, right? I get to be Shaka Pitts, right? So battle rap was allowing me just to be who I was. So even, you know, hosting a battle rap events or whatever, that's what I do. Right. You know, it's just natural. That's the world I come from. It wasn't strange. Mm. You know what I mean? It wasn't strange. I was brought up in this. This is like, you know, a Pitt Fights is no different than a lunchroom. For me, you know,
freestyle like
that's how, you know, everyone crowded around and we're focused on what's going on. That's, and you know.
Okay, so let me jump into this now. Let's talk about battle rap. The first, of the modern day style of battle rapping, the first thing I ever saw was an MTV2, like really late at night. They used to have this. The guys would come up with some money. Of course, it'd be a bunch of New Yorkers wearing big, gigantic jackets and
coats. Got to be big. Gotta have to be big. Got to be big.
Averexes everywhere.
Yes.
And it was mad trash talk. And I don't remember the name of the show, and I don't remember the host. But it would be like, yo, they put their money on the table, and it would be. I think it would be 2 rounds. 2 rounds or 3 rounds.
Was it MTV or was it?
It was MTV.
So they had shit. Was it Fight Club?
It might have been
Fight Club because it was Fight Club.
Club.
So I was the Baltimore liaison for Fight Club. So I was taking MCs from Baltimore up to fight at Fight Club. So O-Ray, you've heard of O-Ray?
Right.
So I took Savage the Beast for O-Ray back at Fight Club. I was the Maniac Dre.
Right.
Took Maniac Dre up to Fight Club as well. So yeah.
Now, so that to me is the closest resemblance to meaning that it's professional. There's money to be made. Mm-hmm. There are 2 artists competing in a serious battle for a tangible thing. Now, you had Smack DVDs beforehand that was more like
but there was stuff way before that.
Real life.
But there was stuff way before that. But you had Jump Off TV going on. You had
that's the same time around the same time.
You had Scribble Jam going on, which was before that. You had the Rap Olympics going on, which was before that. The Rap Olympics was in the 80s.
What's the Rap Olympics?
Rap Olympics. That's Eminem came out of the Rap Olympics. Lord Finesse came out of the Rap Olympics.
Okay, so that was a regular event. So it was kind of like a venue.
Look up Rap Olympics, y'all.
I'm definitely gonna look that up. But that's interesting. So Eminem was a part of that. Was that a part of the whole Rap?
Rod Digger was in the Rap Olympics. It was back doing
Ruckus Records when he was doing
back lyrics. Yep. It was back during them days. But yeah, but even before, like I got into. I'm about to date myself. Like I said, Lord Finesse. I heard of Lord Finesse first on the Rap Olympics, and then he had then he put out a tape.
Got you. So coming out of that, when you start as a curator, as a producer myself, I normally will cherry pick what I see from other things to create the dish that I want. So when Pitt Fights became what it was, you know what I mean? But because you already told us about two other incarnations. You said Grind Time, and then you had
Scribble Jam.
All right, so your personal, when you decided, all right, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to call it Pitt Fights. Number one, why'd you call it Pitt Fights?
Well, my name is Shaka Pitts.
Okay, that's done. We ain't got a ton of. All right, so it's the second thing is how did you come up with the structure, and why did you come up with the structure? From Grind Time, it was it was like a league, an actual organized format, and the Grind Time battle rappers, they were focused on rhyming and wittiness, right? So it wasn't all about I don't believe he'll do that. I don't believe Arnold Schwarzenegger can do anything he does. That's a fact.
Right? I don't believe Keanu Reeves can do anything that John Wick does.
That's a fact.
Right? Even though he does the stunts and the moves, but I get what I'm saying. Right? So he's not going to go out there and kill 200 people.
That's a fact.
He's not going to do that. So therefore, that's not a factor for me past the character. Right? Past you selling me the character, right? If you can sell me the character, then I'm in.
Right?
I don't have to be like, he ain't really gonna do that. Yeah, fuck out of here. Ain't none of y'all really gonna do anything like that. And the ones who do,
let's hope they did not hit.
Right. And then they'll get they can go the Shayali way. You can be real if you want and do your time. You know what I'm saying? So
got you. So Pitt Fights became over a thing where you are allowed the people to create whatever as far as persona that they wanted.
Well, no, it was about the craft. It's about being dope. We're judging you off of dopeness. Now, dopeness comes for the Pit. Like, we have our own scoring. We have our own pie chart for dopeness and scoring method called the Pit Scorecard. So, for us, dopeness is ranked, from rhyming. Right, performance, which is you selling it to me, right? You guys, right? How you give it, how you package and give it to me, right? Your flow or your cadence, your thoughts, right, or your schemes, right? And then the punches or the hits or the ooh, ah, Wow Factor, Sour Milk Face, Tap Your Man, whatever resonates, right? That's how. So if you cover those things, you should have dopeness wrapped up.
Are you at the end of the day? Are you the one filling out the card, or do you have other?
You're the one filling out the card.
That's a fact.
You're the one filling out the card. You're the one filling out the card, because what it comes down to. Is assessing your battle rap IQ, because I can tell a lot about you by how you judge that fight. I can tell if you even deserve to converse with me about anything battle rap. I can tell if you're an idiot. I can tell if you're a genius. I can tell if you're respectable, right? I can tell if you're biased. I can tell where your bias lies. Everything. So I'm not just judging. I don't think I'm just judging this fight when I'm judging you.
Right. That's
right?
A fact. That's
right.
A fact.
So that's what the Pitt scorecard does, and that's what creates the universal integrity that's built into the Pit, which is why we're different than any other league in the country. You know, because again, the foundation comes from where it comes from. You know, and this is gonna sound weird, but the Pit is blessed with having a patriarch that comes from when fire was created, right? Yeah. So because a lot of leagues don't, no other league has that. So I'm able to bring in a perspective of protecting the culture that other leagues really don't have.
Agreed.
Right? And they really don't even know why they don't have it.
Agreed.
Right? Because they came in after.
Agreed.
Right?
I 1,000% agree with that, bro.
So, which is why we're different.
It was. I literally had a phone call 2 hours ago, and I was talking about a young artist, and a friend of mine was like, "Yo, do you like the guy's music?" I said, "No." I said, "I like the visual." I said, "But he's missing something." And I told him, I said, "He's missing culture." And my homeboy was like, "I feel you." He's like, "But I don't understand." And I said, "You can have a Rolex. Anybody can buy a Rolex. But there's a culture with watches." So there's a reason why different Rolexes cost different prices. If you don't understand the culture of Rolex and the culture of watches, you a sucker. I can look at you and be like, "Why don't you buy that bullshit?" "Oh, you just got some money." "Oh, okay, I got you." Because I can see that you don't understand. But if I understand the culture, I know I should only buy certain Rolexes. I should only wear certain things, because as a person with a certain culture, you have to understand. In hip hop, there's a culture in hip hop. There's a reason why we wear the hat a certain way, we wear the clothes a certain way. The reason why we structure the rhymes, the reason why we even have hooks, or why battle rap is what it is, because there's a culture in it. And my journey is always to try to understand the different facets of our culture. Even though I've been in it my whole life, the culture is deeper than just me loving Wu-Tang versus Mobb Deep versus. Well, now you've got battle rap as a culture now.
It's a whole culture.
It's a whole.
It's
thing.
a whole culture, and the beauty of it's a whole culture, and the Pit is a subculture within that culture, because we have our own language, we have our own governing system, we have our own assessment, rules of assessment. It's just so. But again, that's the beauty of being in it as long as I've been in it. I'm able to impart that. So now I have people like, I don't even run the Pit on the day-to-day anymore. Now it's run by Apex the Genius, who started with me when he was 16. He was in my first class. Now this is yours. This is his. He's running that. He's the one dealing with the other league owners, and I'm just I'm in the back. If you need me, if I need to reach out to someone further up the mountaintop than you've been able to get to so far, then hit me up and I got you. But so that's what I'm saying. It's about now I'm passing that. So now what else I'm gonna do? What else I'm into? Because
So once you began to lead, what's the first thing that kept you smiling every week? As a creator myself, there are always little things that keep me going, keep me motivated, and keep me in this space like, wow, what I'm doing is special. What were some of the early things that just had you going? For me, it was once we started getting the other regions involved, right? Because so I'm the patriarch of the Pit, but the Pit has patriarch of the leagues. So we had early on in Pitt Fights, we were going to Connecticut. We were
going down to Virginia. We were doing things across, up and down the coast, the corridor, and we formed the Mid-Atlantic Battle Association, which was helping. So now we're setting up this commission, right? We setting up this thing of ours, right? So now we have a governance across the corridor. So now we'll move resources up and down the corridor, right? So you need how many MCs for an event? What weight class? I got you. Right? Now, but what I need you to do is, this dude up here, he no-showed me, right? I need him on a no-flies list down there. You can't book him. Right? Because this thing of ours. Right? This thing of ours. Now also what I'm gonna do is, when is your event? Cool. I won't throw an event that week.
Right. Yeah.
Right? I'll throw my event next month.
Right. So that way, because we all share in the same pool of fans, and you don't want to split the money. You want people to be able to enjoy all of it.
And then
you have to choose between one person or another if you're smart. So that was, for me, that was a good time, because again, it harkened back to the. I'm always like, I think you hit it. I'm always looking for that time I felt good. Right? I'm looking for that high. Right? That feeling that I felt when I first did this thing, right? So whatever that is, I'm trying to go back to it. So even then, it was going back to a time in Baltimore when it was the camaraderie, before everyone wanted to be a curator, for everyone wanted to have their own open mic, for everyone wanted to have their own venue, and just. So now everything. So when battle rap was still like that, and I was able to connect some dots and do what we call tie those flags, fly those flags, right? So when that happened, it was like, oh, this feels good. I'm able to see things grow. I'm able to sit back and be like, damn, I remember when. And for me, I have two major fears: the fear of whackness and fear of being forgotten. Right? So that's brutally honest. That's brutally honest. I've never heard somebody ever verbalize that.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you don't verbalize it, you can't do anything about it, right? So you see people in our group, bitching and complaining, right? But they haven't done anything about it. I'm still doing something about it, because I don't want to be that guy bitching and complaining. Right? I want to, and if I do bitch and complain, I want to be able to say, bong, 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 and you gotta be like, yeah, he got that, right? So legacy is important for me. So through battle rap, I'm able to see a longer legacy, right? So for instance, even when you look at the artistic community in hip hop in Baltimore, let's just say on the base outside of battle rap, I'm in people's stories, I'm in the remember wins, that's cool. Even engineering, there's engineers who I've begat who are now the engineer, but like you came up under me, and that's you're part of my legacy, right?
You live vicariously through their success.
Yep. So now, it's not even that, it's their story. So now, with battle rap, I have literal families who've come up through me. I have people who have been married through Pitt Fights. I have children born under the Pitt Fight. I have kids who grew up and then became Pitt fighters, right? So now, when that child who was 12, when she first started coming to Pitt Fights with her mother, is now a pit fighter at 14, 15, 16, 17. Now she goes to the army. Now she goes to live her life. When she has a kid, when she tells her story, guess who's in her story? Shaka Pitts. I just added another 25, 30 years to my legacy.
But even then, you got a legacy on YouTube.
But that's, they can take that away.
They can't take it.
They can take YouTube away right now, brother.
They could, but you still got the videos you got uploaded.
That don't hold water, right? It don't hold. Listen, what I'm saying is, the person evangelizing you to their grandkids, right? The people, that beats YouTube any day. Any day. Listen, when YouTube is gone, and what was before YouTube? What was before Facebook?
MTV. Before
you get what I'm saying? What was before CDs? What was before vinyl? But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So when YouTube is gone,
oral history has always been there. That's just
come on, man.
And it's very popular.
Come on, man. So when people tell their story, when people get on this mic and tell their story, right? Yeah.
All right. Okay. So with Pitt Fights, when was the first? Do you remember the first star that you birthed that kind of like transcended? Just. I mean, I don't want to sound disrespectful or mean or anything, but it was the first artist that transcended the cocoon that you built. Like, you know what I mean? And what was that like? You know what I mean? What was that like to watch them grow?
Danger Zone probably was the first one we had when we realized he can go further than like he can go out there and do something. He was probably the first total package. That people outside the pit would, because the pit has its own palette, right? Mm-hmm. So you know, we're basically more so of a hybrid league where we have the street, you know, that whole URL street vibe, right? We have that just because we're Baltimore and just because I'm from Brooklyn and I'm an urban dude, and the whole vibe is hip hop and urban. So, but we also have the skill set, the rhyming. The actual rhyming, right? Because without rhyming, you're just doing aggressive spoken word.
That's a fact.
Right? You have to rhyme. The words have to rhyme. Syllables have to connect. That's where our strength is, right? But we mix the two. So we're a hybrid league, because you have some leagues that's just rippity, rappity, rappity, rippity, rippity. And you like, but I don't really believe him. Like, you got the whole validity thing, or he's not selling it. You'll hear that thing. With the pit, you'll hear rippity, rap, rippity, rip, rap, rap. You're like, oh, okay. Now, he's dope. And I think he might slap the shit out of you. He might do that. I don't know.
Right.
But he's selling that shit.
He's selling the shit out.
Right? So the pit is a hybrid league with in that aspect. So Danger Zone was the first one who I think was able to, you know, step out on the pill to more people. But we've had a lot of people that's come through the pit that's been on, you know, bigger stages, you know, that whole thing. But, you know, like I said about the pit, we're good. Like we're good with being Duke.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? We don't need to be the Lakers.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? We're good with being Duke.
Word.
You know what I mean? You know,
okay, so you don't really care to be smack level, or
I think to do that I would have to give something up.
Like what?
This is gonna sound bad.
Yeah.
But narratives matter. And as I said, I don't run Pit Fights anymore, so this is not. I'm almost a civilian, but I would have to care less about the culture. I would have to care less about my people. Remember that conversation we had about the deals you got to make? Remember that conversation we had about what would you? Oh, sure. I won't. And I've proven it for over a decade. I won't. I could have, but I won't. You know, and I understand that my position has hurt some of my battle rappers. You know, if that makes sense, you know, because some of them could have been in other places they may have, that they feel that may have helped there, but unfortunately, you can't get there for the strength of me doing what I'm not willing to do.
Word. I mean,
does that make sense?
I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand, like, dealing with in this industry, it's always a lot of craziness. But to me, I always felt like Pitt Fights was always one step away, and it was just like, man, if the team was maybe a little bit more. It ain't the team. Like, well, right now we're running very well. Like, shout out to Apex, Ray Cobain, and Daryl Mack from Mogul Printing. No, the machine is oiled and running very well right now. What's always stopped us has been my inability to play fuckboy politics and sponsoring and money. That's it.
anyone who's been to a Pitt event, there's no other battle rap event like it in the country. I've been all over the country. I've been out of the country. There's no battle rap vibe like the Pitt. Battle rappers, URL battle rappers have come to the Pitt. We've had them here. They fought here. Swave Severs fought here. Daylight has fought here. Hell, Tay Rock has fought here. There's no place like the Pitt. Battle rappers who come up and down the corridor, as much as they wave their flag for their home league or whatever, they'll tell you, ain't nothing like the Pitt. So our issue has been capital. Capital and my inability, because of not having capital. That means no capital, do this other thing. I can't do this other thing.
Right.
I just can't do this other thing.
Like y'all don't believe in like selling advertising.
We've done that, but again, it's the ability to reach. Watch this. In the group we're in now, with all the hip hop people we have in the group, right? All of them. How many of them didn't click that new Pitt Fight battle that just dropped at 12 a.m. yesterday?
I didn't even know they had a Pitt Fight that dropped yesterday. I'm gonna have to check it out.
But what I'm saying is, you can see who you're not. That people don't pay attention to what they're not into.
Right. That's a fact.
Right? They don't really concise. Like, I do hip hop, but I don't do that. Right, and that's what that is. You understand? Wow. You understand what I'm saying? So we go back to what we were speaking about earlier. Like, yo, when y'all still doing Pitt Fight stuff, y'all should do another one, bro. You just missed the 10-year anniversary in December. So and again, it's not saying that the onus is on people's to have their radar specifically on you. No, but you should have your radar on what it is you say that you're into.
That's a fact.
That's all I'm saying.
That's a fact. I think for me as an outsider and as a person that that plays industry games, I really feel like it's important not only for the history of Baltimore, but it's so important for me and my little cousin and other people in Baltimore, even if they're not into battle rap, to understand the importance of what you built and to support it. A 10-year anniversary, first of all, 10 years doing anything is major. So, like, I feel like taking a step back and going, how can I invite the whole city to be a part of it? You know what I mean? Or how can I alert the city to something as momentous? And how can I encourage people to become a part? And I know this is a crazy question from you, because if somebody asked me this, I'd be like, but at the end of the day, it's like, I know what I have to do. When I need to do something big, I know that there are people that have a lot of people's attention. So I normally will have to, and this is the shit you don't want to do, is I'll call and be like, look, nigga, I need you to come out. But
listen, my thing is, I'll do that. See, I have no problem. Like, I can separate pride from ego, right? So I have pride, and my pride cannot be put aside, right? That's the healthy part, right? The ego, I can tell that motherfucker shut up, right? Because sometimes you need to shut the fuck up, right? So the ego, for me, that's just how I look at it, is will stop you from saying, hey, yo, look, Jay, look, man, I need you in on the show, right? Pride won't stop. Pride will be like, look, I want my shit to pop, and for my shit to pop, I'm gonna need Jay on it. So pride wants me to look. I want to look good, right? So to look good, what I gotta do? I gotta holler at Jay. Hey, yo, Jay, look. So I don't have a problem doing that, but it's just past a certain point. All right.
I respect that.
Okay. It's like look, Jay, no. It's like look, Jay, no.
Right.
I already have.
And if you try to hit me for the bag in a moment where it's like, yo, this is the 10.
Come on, yo.
Just throw it on a page.
Come on, yo. So it's one of those. So it's like I don't. So like for instance, we've done, and Pitt Fights has always been into avant-garde shit, right? Just because again, the fear of being forgotten means you have to always reinvent. You have to always be doing the first thing, right? I don't like the next. I want to do the first thing, right? I like being on the edge. So we had the first battle rap debate, gubernatorial battle rap debate, right? So we had two of our rappers battle as Hogan and Jealous, right? As if they were them, or for their points, or for their campaigning points, or for their platform. And
that's hard.
Ask me how many of our community was there. Right, I think Easy Jackson showed up. Right, right. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
Easy would have been there anyway, though.
But what I'm saying is, I evangelized that. I reached out. I inboxed with specific. I can I'm actually gonna try to find the message. It was like, look, I need you. Yep. It was one of those.
I gotta watch that.
It was one of those. I need you. Like, I need you to communicate. This would be a good look. I'm pouring it. Like, listen.
Right.
Listen, I'm in inboxes. Right? Because I believe in intimate marketing, right? So I'm not just gonna tag you out. Yo, I need you on this one. Boom, 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 boom. So I did that with every politician running, right? Ask me how many of them showed up.
0.
One.
Really?
One.
Who was that? Shout him out.
Harris. Yeah. Hold it. Why am I bugging? Hold up. Yeah, Harris. Yeah, Harris.
Insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
My man. So the thing is, a lot of times, again, it's not about. The onus is on everybody, right? So I don't want to put the onus on people to make it seem like people are like, oh, if you don't know about Shaka Pitts shit, then you fucking up. Or if you don't know about so-and-so shit. No, it's not that. The onus is on you to keep your radar on for what you say you care about,
fact.
Right? And for me to try to get it out there to the people who care about it, right? I'm into this reciprocity thing, right? I'm into this loop thing, right? It's not. I don't want anything just to stop anywhere, right? I want mine, but I want you to benefit from me getting mine so that the creator don't come back and kick me in my ass, right? Well, again, I'm aware of that. I'm aware, right? I'm aware. So I do want to get mine, but I also don't want you to starve while I'm getting mine, because that ain't cool. And I'm not gonna, the long run, I'm not gonna benefit from that, right? So let me make sure while I'm getting mine, you can get yours too, and this loop
can continue to go forward, and we can all continue to grow.
Right.
All right. So my next question is, what can I do, and what can we as a community do to help Pitt Fights or Shaka Pitts, since you Pitt Fights, but you not Pitt Fights.
Well, y'all see, I'm Pitt.
No. You said
I'm Pitt. I'm the patriarch. Well, I say that to say I don't want things that I say to affect the league.
Gotcha.
Right? I want to make it very clear that I'm not running the pit right now, right? So some things, political water that I've held in the past, I'm no longer have to hold. Right? So I want to enjoy that freedom to an extent.
Gotcha.
So to say that, I want listen, don't, any politics shit, don't take it out on the pit. You got a problem. This is Shaka Pitts saying this shit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with the league. This is me.
So what can I and what can our community do to help you? And what are we not doing that we need to get on board?
You're definitely not watching the videos.
I need to be watching the videos. Even though I'm not a battle rap fan, but
the
I'm entertainment,
because the entertainment. But here's the thing: there's something for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
There's something for everybody. So if you're not into because some people don't like action movies, right? Mm-hmm. I like action movies, so I'm okay with the shoot 'em up, bang bang. Mm-hmm. I like action movies. I don't really do the Still Magnolias and what I mean, or whatever. I like John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like.
Right.
I like I like the Avengers Endgame. Right. Mm-hmm. I like action. That's just what I do. So I don't have but you may not like that, right? Mm-hmm. You may like something a little bit more, easier on the palate, right?
Right.
Cool. We got that. Mm-hmm. We got the funny guy, mm-hmm. right? We got again, dopeness is dope, right? Like, even watch this. You think Cool Rap is dope?
I do.
Who kills more people than Cool Rap?
That's a
you like MOP, don't you?
It's set to a dope beat.
You like, but what I'm saying is, for what that entertainment is, right? Mm-hmm. For what that form of entertainment is, right?
And I'm also with the visual part of it. I think what Smack has done is. And I have to say, I've probably watched more Smack videos than I did Pitt Fights.
Smack is the man. Smack is the man.
I'm only into the dramatic kind of WWF part of it because I'm not into rhyme schemes. Like, I guess I'm never gonna be a best friend because of that. But at the end of the day, like, I love, like, my favorite battle of all time is Loaded Lux versus, I think it was Calico.
I was there,
and he broke that nigga down so.
I was there. I was sitting right there in the front. So,
to me, in that moment is when I realized battle.
I've been there for a lot of shit, yo.
Yes, you have.
I've been there for a lot of shit.
I'm telling you, I haven't even. And the sad part is, I think we've done like an hour and some change, and we have barely scratched the surface
at all.
We have not scratched the surface. But getting back to the conversation, like, those are the things that kind of draw me in, and then I kind of pull back once things it loses it and it gets right back.
So check this out. Again, if you come to a Pitt event, right? Mm-hmm. That vibe, even how we record, we try not to edit anything out. Right. We want you to feel like you were there. Right? Yeah, what you see it happen. If you was there, you would have saw this shit happen. Mm-hmm. So because we want you to feel how we feel about it, we want you to see why.
Facts.
Right? So if you come to a Pitt event, I guarantee you, it's like
I'm coming. I want to see.
It's like a family cookout.
I need to be in
it's like a family. You have to.
I have to be in a crowd because I think that's going to change.
You have to because with all due respect, a lot of the shit that you see is us already. You already like us.
Right.
You already like us. Those guys you like, they like
the same as the ones you like. It's not famous.
That's it. And not only that, it's like they watch us. Mm-hmm. They use our stuff
to figure out what they.
We have it's documented. Like I can like they know who we are. Mm-hmm. They know who Shaka Pitts is. Smack know who I am.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not.
You understand? This is no disrespect. This is not like, I'm just saying. It's just we're part of this code. We was here when we're part of this thing.
Right.
So my thing is, take pride in that, Baltimore. That's the shit that pisses me off. And I'm a soapbox real quick.
Go ahead, please do. I'm with it. This is gonna be my 1 minute clip on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let's go. Turn up. Oh, he got a little vape and all that. Go ahead, vape on, OG.
Check this out, y'all.
Let's go.
I see Baltimoreans talk about Nick Cannon and Eminem. Mm-hmm. I seen Baltimoreans talk about Drake versus Pusha T.
Right.
I seen Baltimoreans talk about Eminem, Machine Gun Kelly.
Facts.
And you won't talk about a pit fight? You won't show up at a pit fight? Oh, so now you in a battle rap? That's what you're into? It's cool now?
It's convenient.
It's okay. So what I'm saying is, you have the oldest battle rap league in the country right here in your front porch, not your backyard, your front porch, right on the stoop, and you can't get no love. In my Snoop Dogg Soul Train. We Pitt Fights can't get no love.
Pitt Fights can get love.
Let it be known then.
I'm in there. I'm in there. How much cost at the door? How much I gotta pay at the door?
It costs nothing for media.
No, I want to support. How much cost?
If the door is 20.
Let's go.
If the door is 20.
I'm putting a soft leg with me. Got
you. Hey, but my whole point is, like, you ain't got front for me, right? Right, but don't tell me, oh, I'm not into this, I'm not to, but you making posts about Eminem and Nick Cannon wilding out, for real. And no disrespect to wilding out, but if you like wilding out, if you halfway like wilding out, you're gonna Def Comedy Jam head explode at a pit fight. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the real thing. Right? That's all I'm saying. Like, it's no disrespect to any, because a lot of those conversations I have just not online, because I don't I believe sheep are meant to be herded, not heard. So I don't really get into that online. You know what I mean? But conversations like this, barbershop, I'll do that. Right. But my thing is, evangelize your own, support your own. If that's what you're, again, if you're into that thing, right? You're into that thing, right? Check it out. We got it right here, and it's the real deal. The real deal.
I'm with it. How open would you be if two local artists had an issue and they want to do this? Right?
That's what we do.
Would you be open to being like, yo, this right?
That's what we do. That's what we do. Maniac Dre versus Don Poe. They had issues. Nay versus Black Hayes. Hell, I recorded the Bar Cardi versus Scar Akbar disc.
Wow.
When they was going back, you know, who started it? Was it the album cover or something? It was something, or was it the Kendrick thing? I think it was the Kendrick thing,
right.
And back then it's something that sparked in Baltimore. I can't remember. Brain cells die every day, but yeah, man, like.
That's crazy.
But that's what we do, man. Like this is why, you know, again, I was talking earlier, and it's like, you know, none of us ever gonna get. It's the Eminem. You know, I feel I never get the props that I ever, that I deserve. You know what I mean? So it's like no one's really gonna get what they feel they just do. All right.
Word.
But if you just keep building on some shit,
right, it'll come.
You know, you'll get some of it. Yeah. Like you'll get some of it, but you'll get some of it.
All of the props you deserve. I feel like there's a changing of the guard, and you have to be. Only thing I'm
when I say me, I'm not speaking about me. I'm saying you. When I say I'm talking about people in general,
right.
Just don't. You know, you just never. So you just got to keep.
Yeah, you know, keep building. But
the
point I'm trying to get to is that. I feel like you, as an older cat like I am, we have a tendency to close off the younger ones. There's a younger generation that wants to be involved with Pitt Fights to help evolve Pitt Fights, and it's not always about them wanting to be in the ring.
No.
Some people want to be in the background. Some people want to hold a camera. Some people want to.
But that's again that's dope. You say that, but that's literally what we do. That's our culture. Mm-hmm. You know, so that relationship that we've been speaking about is built into the pit, mm-hmm. right? Anything we need in the pit, we can get. Like if I need my taxes done, I can get it done in Pitt Fights. You understand? If I need,
I'm going down to Pitt Fights. Get your taxes done right now.
Shout out to EMAC Taxing. So, but I'm just saying we're a culture. We're real culture and community. So even like I say, who's running the pit right now? My young boy, mm-hmm. Apex, right? Who's my third? Ray Cobain, who just been in for 2 years, right? Who showed like, yeah, I want this, and I have the aptitude and the fortitude to handle this. He's number 3. You want to drive, nigga? Here's the keys, mm-hmm. right? And the whip is straight. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do. We've solved beefs in the pit. We've used battle rap, and this is why I say you don't get the props. We don't get those props. We don't get the props as a community. You know, something beneficial to the community. We don't get that
because I don't think you see it. Because as a person from the outside, the only thing I see what I see on YouTube. Uh-huh. So mm-hmm. like the community part, this is new because I'm just now learning this because you're just now telling me. So like as a curator of a platform, you know, because technically you have 2 platforms. You have the YouTube channel and you've actually got the actual event. Mm-hmm. So like you've done a phenomenal job, you know, creating the community within the actual event space, right. And the thing, but translating that onto camera and onto the YouTube channel probably is something that you guys can work on moving forward. Yeah. You know, so that we as the layman individual will understand it and then being and feeling invited to be a part of it. I think as a person of me, as a man of respect, I feel uncomfortable moving into certain spaces if I don't feel like I can add something to it, or if I'm just, sometimes I be feeling like, man, me coming out, they cool with me coming out just watching this shit? Like, I don't know.
But when you watch it, do I ever look uncomfortable? Or do I look right?
You the owner.
But
saying, does the boss ever feel uncomfortable?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the whole vibe. Even though we're watching what we're watching and we're hearing what we're hearing, what you see laughing, you see joking, you see some smoking, you see tapping, you see what you see at a cookout, right? For the most part,
I go to, but it's what's up. But I got 22 twos. I'm gonna play like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, so but you know that may not be a cookout, but it's definitely a block party.
It's definitely a block party.
Definitely a block party.
I hang out a lot of block parties. Right? However, now that I know, and I'm even communicating this to you to say like, yo, maybe you might. All right, well, let me do something more friendly. We've had security at Pitt Fights when we was at 5 seasons, because 5 seasons came baked in. You know, Larry was baked in the cake. You just had Larry was part of 5 seasons, so that's what it was. But
stepping out from that, we haven't had the need from that because we are, again, we're a family.
That's a fact,
right? So we police ourselves. So you're the outsider. Even inside, even the insider is an outsider if that's what you choose to do, right? Because our Pitt law states what it states, right? The pit against you. If that's what if you're trying to mess up this thing of ours, then we gotta, we can't, So
I feel like that's common for any collective. Is that it's gonna try to assure its progress and prosperity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only thing I'm saying is I just want people to feel, and I'm just communicating this on air because I want people to know it's friendly. It's an environment that, hey, you can be a part of it. Some of us, once again, I don't know how every circle operates.
So let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
So you feel like, just looking on, you feel like maybe it's like almost like it's a private event type situation,
right.
Where
for me watching, I'd be like, yo, this look like some exclusive shit. Like, yo, the niggas got together and say, yo, my guy can beat your guy. Look, here's these couple dollars we gonna put it in. Let's go ahead and see what is happening. We gonna throw it on two.
But what happened?
A public event.
So what happened? But again, but that's why we have flyers.
Right.
That's why we have we have promo. We have digital promo that we do. We have physical flyers that we put out. We go on radio shows. So again, we're evangelizing. The thing is, it's almost like you can't be that dude. Like, I'm not gonna go to the comedy show because I don't know if the comedian's gonna say anything about me. It's like nigga, you like comedy shows or not, yo? Like,
depends on how I'm feeling.
But I can dig it. But in 10 years, you had at least to go to one comedy show. If you like, if you say you like comedy shows, then that's all I'm saying. So I'm not trying to force anyone. I'm not trying to drown anyone to drink water, right? I'm trying to say, if this is what you say you into, then you need to be bringing your ass. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And it's welcoming. We want you there. It's like who I am now is who I am then.
Right.
I'm probably more fun, to be honest, but
All right. So my next question is this: like I got podcast beef. How can we situate a podcast battle? Like, I don't know how we would do that, but I feel like since you got the platform.
All right. So what you do? So it's two ways you can do this, right?
Okay.
2 ways you can do this. One, you can take one topic.
All right.
Right. And who presents that topic? Who has the best segment on that topic?
I like that, Shaka. I like that. We're gonna have to do that.
Yeah. So that's that's your. But see, I don't even try. That was just off the.
That was off the dome, but I like that though. I like that.
So yeah, you can run it that way.
Me and my squad versus them and their squad, and it's going down.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, you could pick, like I said, you could pick the same topic and see who who breaks this topic down the best. Who has how do people feel about.
We can only do it on Pitt Fights. We can only do it on Pitt Fights exclusive.
Hey, listen, brother, listen.
I'm with it.
We can make whatever happen, good brother. I'm trying to tell you.
I want to have fun. I'm
trying to tell you.
Your story is so dynamic and phenomenal. Like, and your energy gives me energy that makes me feel like, yo, I feel like I might even. I can't battle.
Man,
I a lot of myself.
Like I said, it's my bag. It's so much. It's so much that I can't.
Get out there and get their head cut off.
Yeah. I'm definitely that guy that will. I'm like, well, you want to do it, like
gas up king. Yeah.
Not gas up, but I believe in you believing in you. You know what I mean? Because I can believe in you, but I can believe you're gonna fail. So you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's, you got to bring something to the table. So you know.
Yo, alright, just watch out of here what's coming out of this bag. Alright, so what's next? Shaka Pitts is 2020. You grown now.
Yeah.
You're not a teenager no more.
Nah, man.
Fully grown.
Yeah,
so
got the Isaiah Washington going.
Over the next 10 years, are we gonna get a Shaka Pitts book? Can we get a?
I want a book. I want a book. And the movie's not impossible. But again, my book, I need help because, like I said, I can do this for days easily. What we're doing right now,
right?
Easily for days. And we may not be, we still may, like
we still getting a little into the shit.
Like I have, and this is true to life. I have a real a real BET story. I have a real story that can be told from my childhood, to now with things in social life aspects involved with the music. What's funny is, and I'm telling a lot about myself with this interview. It's hard for me to watch what I've lived through. It's hard for me to watch what I see. Like, for instance, it was hard to watch 8 Mile.
Wow.
I lived 8 Mile. It's hard watching that. And then also knowing that you may not be doing what you need to do to get out of that 8 Mile. Right? I
might have to ask you to give me the whole story.
I'm gonna go back to that real quick. But the second thing is, like, even the Wu-Tang story, right? It's hard for me watching that, right? Because I'm like, that's a story, that's peace, but I got a story, right? So sometimes, like, my ego, right, has a problem watching that, because I'm like, I have like that's a story, but that's not, and that's not, that's just my bull. That's the bullshit ego. Right. That's the bullshit ego. But
the way they played out the Wu-Tang American Saga was just like.
But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the dramatization, the extra, like I don't even have to make stories up. Right. Like I actually have a saying, like, it's not my saying, but it's like, I like to say, like, I can't make this shit up. Like, or story in my life. Like, I can't, like, I've had, I can lie and it won't be as good as my truth. When we nowhere near, or it's weird, you be like, yo, get the vibe. I'm like, no. That, like, a lot of times I'll be like, yo, I'm glad a camera was here, or I'm glad someone's here, because no one will believe. So I definitely want to start, but I need help. I need help writing that story. I need help compiling that, because there's things that I've forgotten. There's things that I've unremembered. You know what I mean? So
I just let you know, your bodyguard was writing over there. So she got a pen. So, like, she could probably, you know what I mean? She could probably get it down for you. I'm just saying. She's a shooter, and she got the pen.
I definitely need. Again, people who's been there through the different versions of my life. I've been active just in Baltimore alone for what, 20 something years.
25, 26.
Yeah, just in Baltimore. That's just in Baltimore, right? That doesn't talk about New York. That doesn't talk about some of the LA's Times. That doesn't talk about any of those things. And there's people who are in those times of my life that will have to help me, like, yo, like I said, remember that time when we were driving through the toll booth and you pulled your gun out and threatened the truck driver because he was sliding his car. Oh yeah. Or remember that time when we was up in Death Row Studios and we was freestyling.
Without the engineer, it's
my main got stories with Pac though. My boy Jay Flex and them got stories with Pac in the studio fighting and stuff. But Steph Lover, like, me and Steph Lover go back to before she got on the
to the radio.
Yeah. So me and Steph go back. So it's just a lot of people, a lot of times. But I definitely want to a book, and then maybe we'll see if we can get Isaiah Washington or Don Cheadle or somebody to play me as an adult.
Isaiah Washington or Don Cheadle.
It's an adult. Play the adult Shaka Pitts. Play the adult Shaka Pitts.
Senior citizens by the time you get to that
point. And then have your boy Bud from Cosby Show can play.
Yo, I gotta think about what he doing now.
Yeah, so I'm just fucking with people, but nah.
Okay, so this is my question, because we're gonna start wrapping this up. So,
okay.
Baltimore history, 5, in your opinion, you ain't gotta go into why if you don't want to. 5 most influential people on the scene out of Baltimore.
Jeez. Oh man, I would have to say influential. So I
put your name in it. We know you're influential. That's why you're sitting here.
But I'm trying to go through. Let me go through. It's hard, man, because 5 is not going to nowhere near encompass who needs to be encompassed. So from different scenes, from different aspects, I would say. We were talking about hip hop. You say hip hop scene?
Entertainment. We'll say
entertainment
as a whole.
you would have to talk about somebody like Walter from Warm Wednesdays.
Okay.
Even going back to James Collins. I'm talking about a lot of people that may not be the forefront. May not be the people you see.
Right.
But because of what they did.
Yeah, they had establishments and they moved pieces around in the city to help grow things. Right.
People like Frank Lewis, Chenier.
Now, I apologize to this gentleman because I don't know him. What does Frank Lewis do?
Frank Lewis was instrumental back in the mid 2000s of bringing the. At one point, we were stuck at 5 seasons. The hip hop community. Only white acts, really, to be honest, and white-friendly acts were allowed at Sonar in the hip-hop world, right?
Gotcha.
So Frank Lewis was able to bridge that gap, being a white dude and having some connection, being a promoter and having connections, but he was also fucking with the hip-hop side at 5 seasons, so he was able to help bridge that gap and put more of us in Sonar, and Sonar became, at one point, you only used to go to Sonar when the big people were coming, and so that's where Frank comes into play, so...
Shout out.
And he worked with the, he managed. So I had the Spitters Club, which was a collective of entities. It was like NATO, the NATO of artistic industry, and he managed a few of the artists in the Spitters Club. So me and him worked closely together. And then me being at that time the voice of Baltimore hip hop, I was very interested in what Sonar wasn't doing and was doing. So I was always advocating for, I was always, that guy. I was always that guy. I was Michael from Good Times and shit.
So that's a blessing. So you were saying Frank Lewis, Chenier, James Collins, and you said, what's his name? Mike? Walter from when was that?
Though,
I think you only got one left after that.
And if he's gone, but
that name keeps coming up. Ooh,
he's gone, but
legend, living legend.
Ooh.
Or not living, but he's a legend.
Yeah, Ooh's death changed my life because Ooh is he made me want to be better. You know what I mean? Ooh makes you want to be better. And him going at such an early age and how he went, just unexpectedly and so quickly. It was just real. Let you know his shit is real, and the work you got to do if you don't do it, it just might not get done,
So, in what way did he I know he motivated you to be better, but what was he doing? What actions did he take that
was about that? Ooh was about that fucking life, man. Ooh was about that life. Like whatever that life is to you, you feel me? Whatever that life is to Ooh, he was about that life. He was about the people, he was about the culture, he was about the kids. He was, he was a good dude, man. Like one time I'll never forget. O told me something that no one. Like I said, legacy is my issue, right? Not my issue. And legacy is a thing for me, right? And I never talked. Never spoke to anyone except my significant other about this. This is not what I shared to people, right? And one day, Ooh, just told me, he was like, "Yo, pretty much he told me he saw me. He told me what I was. He told me what I was worth. He told me what no one else was telling me. But I knew I fucking deserved to hear. I know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know what I'm supposed to.
I know I'm that nigga. Now give my goddamn props. Y'all see me doing all this out here.
And Ooh gave it to me. Right? And I don't even know if anyone knows this, right? But he gave it to me when no one, and that for me means a lot. Like I'm a Cancer, like a back pat for me. You pat me on the back, you may get too much of hard labor and shit. You know what I mean? Like, good job, I mean, for real. And he told me also at a time when I really needed to hear it. Because I've been in this thing for a long time. Even when he told me, it was a long time. So it's, and that was before he passed, and it was just, he was special, man. Like, he was special. I was supposed to be doing music for him. Mixing some stuff and remastering some stuff for him before he passed, and I don't know, man. Who's just special? When he, like, his passing was like, you know what? I can't bullshit, yo. You know what I mean? Like, I wanna, I can't bullshit. I wanna do something. I wanna do something. I want to do something great, like I want to do something more with even the gubernatorial battle rap, even using battle rap is a learning tool, right? That's me saying, I want to do more than just this, and a lot of that is even the way people, like right now, Ooh's been going for what, maybe 4 years, maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 years, and that's a long time in Baltimore hip hop. I know people that's been dead for 2 years, and people like, who? Say that man's name and you see what happens. You said that man's name and see, like, I'm feeling something like that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
You feel me? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, no disrespect, but that crying that went on at Ooh's funeral, it's the fuck I'm talking about. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, have impacted people's lives in such a way.
That's what I'm talking about.
You will never be forgotten.
That's what I'm talking about. Right? That shit right there. That's what Ooh did for me. And not just me. People like Easy Jackson. Like Ooh, Ogun, Ogun,
I mean, a lot of people, man.
Those of us who are doing what. Think about the people you said. Think about what type of work the people you said do. Think about that shit.
And community activism.
Think about that shit. Right? Yeah. That and not even saying that we were all who we were, right?
Right.
But Ooh's passing, just it's like, fuck, it's just real, man.
That's very deep. That's very real. Deep.
Yeah, like I didn't even think about it. Like when you start naming the people, I'm like, oh shit, that's the same cloth.
So if you had to sum up your cloth clothing line, you know what I'm saying, so that when you pass, the legacy will like what words would you use to describe what you've brought to our community?
That's hard for me, man. I think that's like your job. You know what I mean? I mean, that's somebody else's job, man. That's somebody else's job.
I think you can do it. I mean, like, okay.
I may, but I don't know if I'm comfortable. I don't know if I'm comfortable.
I can do it for you. It's real easy. From the time that we spent, originality will be a complete necessity, because what you brought to the game, and I'll use our community as I'll say the game, community, whatever, is you brought originality. You brought something completely original to the table that has not been able to be surpassed by any other individual, number one. Number two, you brought education. You brought understanding. You brought, and even when you become an originator of that type, you become a stabilizer. So, like, there might have been a bunch of people that might have had beefs or desires to be artists, or they might have felt like outsiders and didn't have a home or didn't have friends. When you created the platform, you provided that for all of those people, even if it's just providing a room for them to stand in so they could see each other. So, like, you got that. You got those things. You know what I'm saying? But
see, and that's why I said it's not my job, because I wouldn't have said any of that.
Oh, come on.
I wouldn't have said any of that.
What would you have said, though? Come on, give me something. Come on.
Maybe.
You got to look at yourself in the mirror and be able to say, I am Blair.
This is going to sound...
I don't care what it sounds like. Just go ahead and kick it. I'm with it. I want to hear this.
I am patriarchy.
I like that.
I'm authentic. And but again, that says who I am to me. That doesn't say who that is, who I am to others.
But
right?
that's bullshit, because that's exactly how the other people that told me to contact you said the same shit.
Well, I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that. But it's like.
I mean, do you not see the reverence in how people interact with you? Even
you
when
gotta
you
be careful, but you gotta be careful with that, man.
What reverence? Do you know how people talk to me online? They treat me like shit. I get no respect, and that's maybe because I don't give a fuck. But that's not the point. Like,
no, man,
people speak to you and with you with a level of love and respect that a regular person cannot get. Now, it's cool for you to play cool with it. I'm cool with that. Like, you got to. You on camera. You don't want people to know that that you know. I understand. People that know me. People that know me know. Yeah, right.
But what I'm saying, I don't. What I'm saying is, like, I'm fully aware. I'm fully aware that I'm not always Clark Kent. Right. But at the same token, like, I have to be aware also that I'm not always Clark Kent. Right. Right. So it's like what I tell my battle rappers: never get used to it. Right.
Respect.
Never get used to it.
Respect.
And so when people see me in the street, or they, I get someone's even said to me, anyone ever tell you look like Shaka Pitts? I've had that in the corner store in Calhoun and Lafayette. Right. So that felt good to me. Right. X amount of years later. So what I'm saying is, I always want to feel like that. So to always feel like that, I gotta perceive things. And I handle things in a different. Why can't you understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's not my job to evangelize myself past a certain point. Right. It's not my job. Now, I can't be lost in I'm not gonna be lost to history. You don't get it. Right. But past a certain point, it's your job. It's your job. If I've done my job. Right. If I truly am whoever the fuck I think I am in my head, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm really that motherfucker, if I'm really that nigga that I think I am, then somebody else will be able to say something.
Agreed. Right. Last question, and then we out of here. This is the most important question. Actually, it's not, because all the other questions were way more important than this. But I'm just doing this because I just want to see what your answer is. Top 5 greatest.
I know you'll say that.
Battle rappers all the time.
Battle rapper. I like.
But I want to hear this because this is for the battle rapper.
I don't know if I'm gonna have it the way, no order. Let me just say I like Lux.
Okay.
I like Hollow. I like. I gotta count these guys. I gotta count. It's not of all time. When they were in their when they were in their peak, and up to when I think they should have retired or whatever. I don't know. It's almost like, do you count Jordan with the 45?
You don't.
Thesaurus and Ilmac.
That's 4.
So now I'm stuck between a Mook and somebody like even. See, I got people I like, and then I got people who I think are better than. You feel me? Like,
but you know what the game is. This is all about who the best of the best.
So is it who is it who I like? So okay, so it's who, okay, so it's not who I like, not who I prefer. It's who I think is on paper, or who could say they're the best. Lux, Mook, Hollow, of all time. Shit. I gotta throw some Thesaurus in there just because he fathered so much shit with the grind time, and even the best grind time rappers are your best URL rappers. Think about it. Up into a certain era, you're better. Your URL rappers who are better. The Verbs, who else? All the ones who came from grind time were your better URL rap because they rapped, which was what grind time did better than URL. So I gotta put Thesaurus in there. What I'm missing?
And you got one more.
Fuck. I almost want to go up to. I almost want to. Is there somebody in Canada that I'm missing? Because you can. Pat Stay. I don't know if Pat Stay's influenced the culture like that. So I got Thesaurus, Lux, Mook, they've all influenced the culture. Hollow, who came from Grind Time, who also came from Fight Club. It's somebody I'm missing. Of all time, I could go back. I could pull somebody from way back. I can pull a Juice or something from way back, freestyling days. Fuck. I almost want to say a Supernatural.
Nothing wrong with that.
Fuck it. I'll go with Supernatural. I'll pull him from that era. I'll pull Supernatural.
Okay.
So yeah, I got one from the Grind Time pre-URL boom. I got 3 URLs and a prehistory.
Now, damn, I said that was my last question. I got another one. All right, gotta go back. I got another question. Of the MCs turned battle rappers, you know what I mean? Like
for instance.
Okay, I'll say even though Cassidy came from Battle World before he started rapping.
Trash.
I know. So, but I'm saying giving him as an example. I didn't say he was in the top anything. I like Los. I've seen Los in battles. I enjoy Los. Even though Los did come out of battling and then kind of transition into rapping, but him going back to that, I think with some training, I think he could be good. Are there any artists that were established as artists that went back to battle rapping that you think they have a potential of the future?
Who's done it? Joe should stay with Joe was yeah.
He had 30 seconds worth of it, and then he just destroyed it. Los did a good job. I see who else.
Well, Los comes from the One Love. I was there too at One Love, but Los comes from. I actually recorded music for Los also, and the Block. Shout out the Block.
They were a record label that was under Bad Boy that Los and Scarred Bar were on. For those who don't know who the Block is.
Yeah, and my dude Drop, shout out Drop also. But yeah, I think I did the last Block mixtape. I think
compilation CD.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Before they all went to jail.
Oh man, I'm sorry. This is terrible.
I hate how so many Baltimore music stories.
That's how it ends. That's how it ends. That's how it ends.
Yo, Teflon Records, and then they all went to jail.
Yeah, I remember them too. I was doing stuff.
I'm not trying to throw y'all under the bus, yo. Please don't get offended, yo. The Baltimore niggas are so sensitive, like please. But
yeah, I was doing.
If y'all really think about it for 5 minutes, like it's so many dope movements that came along.
So speaking of Los, I would like to see Los support Pitt Fights. That would be dope.
Yo,
that'd be dope. Shout out to Los too.
What you call him?
What's funny is this funny Los story.
Come on, Aries, get it together, bro.
No. I'll say this. All right, so let me prefix this story with at the Calico. At the Lux Calico fight,
right.
Lux was Los was there.
Okay.
He was upstairs with Buster and Tip or whatever. So I was up in that area. I saw him, and he showed the appropriate fucking love that the Baltimoreans supposed to show a fellow.
My name.
You know what I mean? So. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, yo, what you doing after? You trying to... So it was...
Definitely love.
Love. I was just with like 3 carloads a month. I'm like, we going back, yo.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Los, let me put that out there early, right? So then at some point, I got tagged on Twitter, and it said, it was like Los saying he's trying to get in touch with me.
Right.
And so someone, someone else in one of those reshare type situations, and oh shit. So I DM'd them, right? And I haven't heard from him. I don't even know.
Well, I'm so happy that you brought this up.
So I've got a
direct connection to Los, I'll be able to 1-2 punch it. Like,
yeah. So like I said, I don't know, but like I said, Los or someone on Los's page,
right,
reached out on like, yo, someone hit Shaka Pitts up,
right,
and then I hit him up, and no one responded back to me. So I was like, okay,
yeah, blaming on the technology, not the man.
Yeah, no, and again, I understand it on some levels. Once you get to a certain level, then you may not even be the person operating your shit,
right?
Because guess what? I don't even operate the Pitt page, so I can dig it.
So all y'all can stop DMing the page trying to get something.
Hold up, yeah, my third in command, who's now third in command, has screenshots now of 6 years ago, him trying to get with me on that page. It's funny stuff. That's a beautiful story because now, so it took him 6 years,
right?
but he at the head of the table,
right? Of course.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's like it's one of those.
Like it's beautiful that way. How we go through twists and turns.
Yo, amazing.
It's just I tell people as much as possible when you get in, being in a position that you in, it's almost impossible for you to see everybody that's reaching out for you.
Yeah, it's hard.
And he's on a whole nother amplified level.
Listen. I can say. Y'all ain't hear who I said he was with, right? He was with Diddy,
right?
Busta, and Q-Tip, right? So again, I'm not making any. Don't even get it fucked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't even get I'm not even saying
Right.
So I was good with the fact that because again, because I didn't want to have to be like, yo. This nigga was just in my fucking studio, in my house, in my basement, blah 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 blah. 2 years ago, I went, or you didn't want that story, no, right? So I'm like the fact that I can say, nah. Not only do he show love, but he over the top show love. Was like, yo, what you doing after? You know what I mean? He ain't play Hollywood. He was like, what you doing after? Y'all trying to come through? Boom. So yeah, Los, my man. Like I said, we go back far enough to where it should never be any bullshit. Because I remember we both remember when. Right.
So yeah, just being there for each other.
Yeah.
So who are you looking? Who do you have your eye on? Or not eye on? Who do you look forward to coming up in the game that you see doing big things in the rap in Pitt Fights and then?
Oh man, we got right now my big dog class, which is I think my class number 4. They're sophomores right now, but they doing great things. They're winning every out of town fight that they fight. We're undefeated against every league out of town in that class. Several of them are going on to URL. We actually going next week. We have a PG. We're going to URL. Murder. I don't know if y'all know Murder, but he's a 10-year vet with us.
Wow.
He has 2 URL fights already, and this is his last one. After this, he's main stage. And he's gonna beat shit down the leg of this dude he's fighting next week.
Okay.
And then 6'8" also he has his URL fight next week also. Apex the Genius versus Butter just dropped. Butter has been on URL and fought, I believe has fought people on that level. He came through the pit early in his career. Like a lot of them dudes who, they come through the pit, man. All roads lead through the pit, man. At some point, like if you do what we call your pit story, you'll yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, we have our own lingo, good brother.
You are.
We have our own lingo.
You are a special guy, man.
So,
you are a special guy. All right, so let's plug these upcoming events. What you got coming up for any?
We have a event called Training Day where it's sub branded Mo's versus Yo's because it's Baltimore versus DC, right?
Mo's versus.
Hey, listen, I don't even try, but yeah, so that's going on. So and it's our younger class, it's our freshman class going against their freshman class. So that's going down next week at Easy Jackson spot, the compound.
Okay.
On Sunday, I'm terrible with dates. What's next Sunday's date? 20
the
what?
25th.
All right, so
it's the 26th.
26. So that's going down. Follow Pitt Fights on Instagram for all the pertinent information at Pitt Fights.
At pitfights.tv or
just at Pitt Fights.
Okay, all right.
And you'll find everything you need to find as far as flyers and promo for that event.
And what if they want to follow you? Or you don't
Shaka Pitts.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Googleable.
Okay.
Just
Google me, bitch.
Yeah.
I got you.
Shaka Pitts. My number's public. So if you really want to get to me, you can get to me. It is.
I tried to reach out to you.
443.
No, don't do that.
6. What is
if I had to go through all, I had to
687 443.
He knows his own phone.
I don't call myself 443 692 443 692 Pitts.
Yo,
my number's public.
Because I couldn't find this guy.
Because I want people to be able to get into. I want to say again that I don't want you to forget me because you couldn't get to me.
I'm done. All right. He like a pimp. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything got to rhyme. Like, we know you do Pitt Fights.
didn't realize I didn't realize how that sounded after I said. I was like, oh shit, that was kind of slick. That was okay. That was okay.
I'm not gonna buy you lunch because you just said all the shit that rhyme.
Gina, jot that down.
Yeah, right. Man, thank you so much for your time, brother. I so appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, good brother. It's my pleasure,
educated,
man. My pleasure.
You know what I'm saying? I got a whole new level of I just know so much. Now, like, it's time for us to get to these pit fights. I'm gonna come. Do they got like chicken there or something?
Oh man, yes. We have food there. We definitely have food there. Sometimes we have two different type of vendors, but it's always you know, our type of food.
Word. If you ever need a host that's overweight, holla at me. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, good brother, listen, the doors are open.
Yeah, I don't want no money. I just want some.
Hey, come on down, good brother. We got a plate for you, good brother.
That's what I'm talking about.
We got a plate for you.
We want all of you guys to come out, support Shaka Pitts, also support Pitt Fights. You know what I mean? They are two separate entities. So like, you know what I mean? Definitely. Hey, you got merch and stuff that's
no. Well, this is actually I have a black riding organization, black biking organization called Black People Ride Bikes. So that's, you know.
I'm done.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, black people ride bikes.
Listen, what I tell you about my branding? You're not gonna be thinking about what we do, right?
You could have called it the Black Devils. You could have called it the Onyx team. You could have
Black people ride bikes.
Black people ride bikes.
Right, because it's a lot of times. See, what you fail to realize, it's not always about you, right? It's not about us, right? It's about other people who are not black, right? Yes. Black people do ride bikes, right? Well, maybe it is about you. Maybe you are black. You're like, black people don't ride bikes. No, black people
do ride bikes.
Yes, black people ride bikes.
I don't know how to ride a bike. So like,
say word.
I don't. I'm willing to learn. I've never, and none of my friends that had bikes would ever let me get on the bike because they're like, you don't know, you
ain't fucking up my shit, right?
So it's like, well, go you buy your own bike. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. So why would I spend
man.
$3,000, $4,000?
Listen, we got you, brother. We can even get a loaner from Parks and Recs or somebody or one of our.
We need to get a new water bottle. Black people teach other black people how to ride bikes.
We got that. But yeah, so that's what it is. But pit fight stuff. Mogul Printing does all of our all of our gear. This is my one of one patriarchy pit. So you know.
Most important question: do they come in a 5X? Not that one, but
they do.
Okay,
they do. We have gear for every. We have socks. We have
pit fight socks.
We have socks. We have bandanas. We have car flags. We have mugs, shot glasses. We have bikinis for the women. We have bibs for the kids.
I'm with it.
Anything you can think of what Merc Pit Fights has.
Gotcha.
So again, just but again, you gotta come in. You gotta come in the store. Yeah, you gotta come in. What you can say? Shut the door, bitch. Come on in.
Man, please make sure you follow this, man. Please go to the event. I'm getting me some Pit Fight socks. Y'all will see me at a Pit Fight event.
Come on.
Some chicken chilling.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And then also, I want to say thank you for your contributions to the music industry, the entertainment, for Baltimore, for even being a positive influence, bro. For just being a black man that's clean cut. Look at you.
Thank you.
And you out here doing something positive. You know what I mean? Now, whether you killing people behind the scenes, I don't know.
Hey, I'm trying.
And as long as in public, you're doing the right thing.
In the words of I'm trying to save these babies, man.
Exactly. I think that's the most important. I'm not. I'm out here just shooting.
Listen, man. Hey, listen, man. Listen.
Everybody not out here to save the babies.
We can't drown them to make them drink water.
As you save the babies. If you need a couple dollars,
I'll take that.
let me know.
Hey,
I got you.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
As long as they ain't robbing my house, I'm cool.
Listen, again, a healthy sense of selfishness. If you gotta save the kid just because you don't want them to rob, whatever, I don't care. Just
save them.
I don't care.
As long as they save.
Let's save.
Right. I ain't gotta be involved in it. We'll check y'all next time. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out all the rest of the videos. This episode with Sim Jones, Mike Megacharge, all the other ones, man.
Even a man can do it.
Word. We got upcoming. Keep it locked. We got Ogun coming. We got Sonny Brown coming.
Positive Kev.
Yeah.
The gingerbread man.
We got Dookie Man set up.
Dookie.
You know what I'm saying? And then we got I need y'all to start right now. This is a campaign to get Rod Lee to agree to do this interview and follow through. So I need everybody to start hitting this thing and say, the fat guy wants to interview.
Rod won't come through, man.
Well, Rod is a very busy and interesting just an individual that does not really give a fuck about, you know.
No. You know, Rod is, you know.
He his own man.
Yeah, Rod's
you know
his own man.
So like, yo, I'm cool with begging, pleading, and doing whatever's possible to get this dude on camera.
Yo, you better ask Sonny Brown about what I told you. When he leave me on the stage.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh, that's
you got to ask Sonny Brown.
You have a tendency to leave before events are over. and certain other people have to take.
Hold on. Ask Ogun about him leaving early too. Yeah, listen. When I tell you I got the book.
I've never seen Ogun stay to the end of none of my events. So like,
see, look, it's what we call the Ogun bounce.
Right.
So the Ogun just start dancing and shit. He start moving back. Next thing you know, he start fading. Where the fuck Ogun go? That nigga gone.
Nobody. I turn around and turn back.
Listen, he gonna be in the front, right? Cause we make eye contact. He
wants you to know.
Oh yeah, I was there.
He gonna smile on you. Yeah, baby. Yeah, it's good to see you.
It's the Ogun bounce. All right, because he gonna bounce the fuck out. All right. So yeah, like I said, yeah.
I love it, yo. You ain't never lied, yo.
Try to tell you, man. I tell you.
I thought I was the only person.
Nah, yo, he's famous for it. He's famous for it.
Yeah. I thought I was just a new kid. I was like, all right, maybe he's just showing up because I'm the new
What amazes me is that you even noticed it because it's only a few, like people know it. People know it, but it's usually people in other cities. Like, people don't, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, it's always the people I respect the most. I'm always trying to make sure they good, and you know what I'm saying. And I enjoy having fun with me and Ogun can make fun of a whole room together. That's our thing. We'll see each other and we gonna get together and talk shit. So when my shit talking homie just gone,
yo, listen, hilarious, yo. It is hilarious to see it. Like, I've stood up to the side and be like, yo, Ogun, and he was saying like they start fading to the back and shit. Like if one row, 2 rows, 3 rows, he gone.
And what makes it worse is a lot of these events, he's like one of the main people. Like, so it's like, yo, you can't. What are you doing?
It's beautiful, yo. It's a beautiful thing to see, yo. Like I said, it's beautiful.
Yo, he's a special guy, yo. This whole scene is special. I think that's another reason why I felt like it's so important for us to document our history, because you guys are characters, not just great individuals, but history, man. Y'all history makers, man. So anyway, we out of here. We'll check y'all next time. We love y'all. Aries Lounge, VBCRadio.com, VBC Life Magazine, yo. We out. Peace.